your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us today. Man, oh man. The same thing, different day. And it's a tough one, right? I was telling Jason during the crosstalk that, yesterday was one of our, I shouldn't say fun just because of how everything went down, but a lot of people were very, 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 very passionate about what was going down, and I appreciate that. The problem is, if I'm being completely honest with everybody, I put a lot of stock on the Kings kind of being what they were last season, and if the Kings were what they were last season, most likely they would have won that game last night because they would have ticked us off, losing to bad teams, and then they would have gone on to win and to beat a team that they kind of had no business beating, even though the Thunder, they were missing Alex Caruso and they were missing Chet Holmgren. Well, the Kings lost, and they did so in a way that was fairly embarrassing, if I'm being completely honest. 130 to 109. A team that is, and I know I'm not talking about ageism here, but a team that's younger than you, a team that has essentially leapfrogged you, a team that has basically been where you were in terms of, okay, we're building something here. We lost early in the playoffs. How are we going to respond after our breakout season? Well, they're responding in a completely different way than the Kings did last season after their breakout season when they lost early in the playoffs. So you have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who now sit at 13-4. They beat the Sacramento Kings 130 to 109, and it's past gut check time for the Kings. And I got to sit here a couple days before Thanksgiving and watch Kings fans fight over Keon Ellis and Kevin Huerter, who's playing more, who should be playing more. I got to sit here and watch this when the reality is there's just not enough talent on this team. Past the top three players, and I'm going to be honest, the top three players, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan. Past the top three players on this team isn't good enough to compete in the West. Keegan Murray's not good enough right now. Kevin Huerter's not good enough right now. We'll see Malik Monk when he gets back from injury. He's got to get there. Trey Lyles out with the calf. More injuries for Trey Lyles. Even when he was healthy, he's not good enough right now. Keon Ellis is getting there. He's a great story. I'm not sure he's good enough right now. So the bottom line is the tough part in breaking down what the Kings are is because they're not playing well enough, but I honestly just don't think they're good enough either. Keegan Murray, to me, is going to be a good player. He is not what the Kings are asking of him right now. Kevin Huerter, as he is, I believe, 25, 26 years old. He had some good years in Atlanta. He had a good year a couple years ago. How many times have we seen a story where a guy who's a shooter has a couple good seasons, and then you find out, yeah, this guy's not a starter. We've seen it happen time and time again. So Kevin Huerter, to me, is not a starter on a Western Conference juggernaut. He's not. Maybe he's a starter on an Eastern Conference team that can get into the play-in and be maybe be a 5-6 seed in the playoffs in the East. Or, I mean, I guess he can be a starter if the rest of your team are the 96 Bulls, maybe. So you have that going on. Like we said, Keon Ellis, decent story, good story, great story. That's fine. That's not enough. Trey Lyles, if Malik Monk is your sixth man, Trey Lyles is not good enough to be your seventh man. Let's just stop sugarcoating things. We're all grown-ups here. And if your kids are going to grow up eventually, Trey Lyles is not good enough to be a seventh man in the Western Conference. It's not it. Whether it's availability, actual ability, shooting the basketball, it's not good enough. Monty McNair hasn't been good enough. You went out there and with your whole chest and your whole vest said, guys are going to have to learn how to play against us. How are you going to handle the Pelicans and teams like that with the Lend? Oh, they're going to have to play. Well, I'll tell you what, Pelicans been injured, so we don't even have to worry about the Pelicans. But the Nets sure know how to play with you. The Hawks sure know how to play with you. We know the Thunder know how to play with you. So everybody here, and Mike Brown as well, not good enough. So we're going to talk a lot today about the fact that they're going to have some type of meeting in Minnesota, and it's a little bit confusing because Malik Monk said that they typically do have meetings after losses. Well, they've been meeting a lot lately. It's 4 straight. So they typically have meetings after losses, but it feels like this one is going to be a bit different. You imploded at home when some of the calls weren't going your way, and I sit here and I complain about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being a grifter, a foul merchant all the time. But you got to be better than that. You got to overcome that.
What was the term you said yesterday? Unethical hooper?
He's an unethical hooper, okay? That's the truth. But I'll tell you what, Kevin Huerter was unplayable. Malik Monk, he admits after the game that his ankle is still lingering. Trey Lyles goes down, a calf, I believe he's day-to-day. And De'Aaron Fox, in the big matchup that we were all talking about, De'Aaron, this is your chance. Put Shai on notice, put the world on notice. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 37 points. De'Aaron Fox, 14 points. And a couple, did he have a tech last night? A couple bad stints with the refs. We get all that. You got put in the torture chamber. You got put in the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander chamber. And then you ended up beefing with the refs. So everybody has to look in the mirror. DeMar DeRozan, yeah, he finally showed up. You know, he's been battling injury, things like that. But these measly 2-pointers, they're not good enough. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm not coming at Sacramento. I'm not coming at the social team. I know they're trying to just keep their head above water. We're sitting here watching the Kings get smacked at home, and I got to scroll on Twitter and see Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox, leader of the MIDI committee. Nobody cares about that right now. We getting smacked. We getting embarrassed at home.
I don't know. At that point, maybe it was only like a 5-point game or something.
Well, by the time I got it, because, Elon messed up the timing. So I'm watching them get cooked, and I got to see about the MIDI committee.
It's a lot less fun when Cason Wallace has just buried a 3 and you're seeing the post of the MIDI committee.
No, the MIDI committee is great. You know when the MIDI committee isn't great? When you have a team that is the worst defensive team against 3-pointers. Last night, 45% from 3 actually feels good. That's how bad the Kings are at defending the 3-point line. 45% actually feels good. 14 of 31. 25% the Kings shot from 3. 8 for 32. Well, they better be the MIDI committee because they can't make a 3.
Second half, they were 1 for 14 at the 3-point line.
Insanity. Keegan Murray, 2 for 8. He's got no legs. Domantas Sabonis might be the second best 3-point shooter. That's how down bad they are. DeMar DeRozan, 0 for 2. Keon Ellis, 2 for 3. De'Aaron Fox, 1 for 6. Doug McBuckets, 0 for 2. He didn't have a bucket. Malik Monk, 2 for 7. He's chucking them up. And Kevin Huerter, 10 minutes, 0 for 2. A donut. He only played 10 minutes, so we can't blame Kevin last night, even though there was a bad stretch we'll get into. So last show, yesterday, we spent so much time trying to figure out what the Kings are going to do, but there was still a little bit of hope because they could come out, raise their level of play, and we could at least say, hey, on their best day, the Sacramento Kings, they can hang with the top team or one of the top teams in the West. But we can't even say that. We can't even say it came down to the last shot. We can't even complain about, oh, that was a foul call. How could they call that? They just got worked. They got worked. So I understand how you might be feeling, Sacramento, as your Kings team with expectations falls 2 games under 500. They are 2 games under 500 at home, as prices went up, by the way. And now you're to the point where, I feel you. You're driving around about to pick up your turkey, whatever it is, start brining it. I know my mom is doing that out there in the East Bay for when I get on over so I can finish seasoning it and get that going. So I understand if you're in a tough spot right now, but we're going to get through this together. You know the number. I don't even think I had to say the number once yesterday. Maybe once. And it was on fire over and over again. But I understand if, you know what, Allen? I complained yesterday. Now I'm just beat down. Now I just want to see what this team is made of, because I do too. I'm not going to sit here and argue with people over Kevin Huerter, over Keon Ellis. The whole team needs to look in the mirror. You ever have a situation where you need to perform maybe it's an interview, a very important interview. Maybe it's a date that you really want to impress this person. And you, after the fact, just don't perform the way you want to perform. I was awkward. I didn't ask the right questions. You got to sit there and look in the mirror. And that's where the Kings are right now. Everybody, top down. I don't care if you're on the court or off the court. I'm going to go Giannis here. Whoever, whatever, what did he say? He said, whoever's washing the clothes. I'm not including them, but if you are an exec on this team, if you are a player on this team, if you are a coach on this team, you need to be better pronto. You need to be better pronto. 916-339-1140, or you're just not good enough and blow it up. It's one of the two. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's coming out of that meeting, but what I do know is this. If you go down 0-3, 3 losses straight to the Timberwolves, and, I went back and forth with people last week. Oh, I think it was Frankie during Roundtable, and we got Roundtable tomorrow. Oh, well, I'm not really sure the tiebreaker thing is going to matter because the Timberwolves, they're probably going to be up there. I don't think they are. I think the Timberwolves are going to be right where the Kings are at. Right where the Kings are at. So you have to get this W tomorrow. But I'm honestly sick of saying that, because I said that yesterday. And you know what happened? They lost. So if they're just going to keep losing, what are we talking about? The problem isn't the fact that they lost last night. The loss last night would be somewhat respectable if you didn't lose to the Hawks, if you didn't lose to the Clippers, if you didn't lose to the Nets. So now we're in a tough conversation where I understand why you lost to the Thunder, but we were expecting you to show a level of pride because of what you just tricked off in those 3 games prior to this game. We got stats we will get into. We have plenty of sound. We see the calls coming through as well. We will get to all of them. We're going to get through this together, Sacramento. We got 4 hours. We're going to get through it. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free fries from McDonald's, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
How you feeling, Sacramento? Is this worse than... And look, we're not even 20 games into the season, but I do know that something has to change. You can talk about low points, and like I said, Mike Brown talks about it. We have that sound. You can talk about low points. They are 8-10, so it hasn't even been 20 games into the season yet. But you're now getting to the point where you're going to have to make up for your sins, if you will. And that's what the Kings are going to have to do. They got to dig deep. They're not completely cooked, but there is something wrong with the structure right now, whether it's the rotation, whether it's just the talent, whether it's the schemes, and they have to fix that. And they don't have a ton of time to fix that. That's the other part of that. You know, people are chiming in right now about what a team meeting can and can't help on the text line. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140, just like we did. It's a short week, right? For me, maybe not for everybody. And like I said, first responders, everybody that has to work all week and every day, we thank you. But it's a short week for me, so we don't have time to waste as far as opening up the phone line. So we're going to do it right now. Okay, so let's keep those phone lines lit up. I know some of the names look a little bit familiar. We talked prior to the game, and now we're going to talk here after the game and see how much worse you're feeling. Because I don't think you could be feeling any better, but maybe you do. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Rob. Rob from Rancho wants to kick it off. What's up, Rob? You know what it is.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm not hitting panic button yet.
Rob, how?
Hold on. I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I've been a King since day one. A fan since day one. 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Season ticket holder. We've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
So am I going to hit the panic button and do what we did when we let go of Adelman and Petrie? Heck no. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to look at Monty and be like, "You're out." You know, I'm going to say, what do we need to do to fix this? What do you need?
Right.
Clearly, there's things going on. You know, I think I called yesterday about Lyles. I don't dislike Lyles as a person. I think when you sit down and have a locker room meeting, he's going to be a voice you hear loud and clear. He might even call himself out and say, "Hey, I need to take more shots.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something to get more boards." I think there are guys in this locker room who want it. I don't know that that's the problem. I think you're saying it. You said it really well. I think. I don't know if it's about one individual on the team. I think it's every single guy that comes to work on the Kings needs to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, "What does it mean to wear this jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Do the fans need to go talk to these guys and be like, 'We love you so much, we'll die for you. We all bleed purple.'" You know, like we need guys like that.
Yeah.
You know, we want guys who are going to come to work every day, look at themselves in the mirror, hold everyone around them accountable, and go earn it. Don't go talk about, "Oh, we could have done this differently. We could have done this differently." Go earn it.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Rob, as always. Well, here's the thing. As far as so they're 4-6 at home, and this even went back to last season where there was a conversation about, is this they depend too much on the fans, and is there pressure? I don't want to hear that. So you're telling me the problem is the fans are too loud? The fans are too into it? What are we doing with that?
It's trying to find some kind of explanation, right?
Well, that's not it.
I agree with you.
That is not it.
But no one has the definitive explanation.
No, there is. I mean, I'll tell you the explanation. The explanation is they get tight and they don't want to blow it, and that's exactly what happens. That there are a lot of teams, and I will say this: there are a lot of players, there are a lot of teams that feel more free playing on the road because there's less expectations and they like being the villain. You do feel a level of pressure when you play at home, and you gotta, these fans are here. They want to see a beam tonight. We got to get it done. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that maybe that's part of it because this is bad.
Sure. I get what you're saying. It's just like, since when have the Kings, this iteration of the Beam team, had an issue with being tight late in games?
When they had expectations.
And it's just been so strange to see it shift now from where it was last year, or even where it was at the beginning of the season, when we're talking about the comeback in Miami, the comeback in Phoenix, to now where it's like 1 for 14, in the second half shooting from three. 15 points in the fourth quarter on Sunday. 15 points in the fourth quarter against the Hawks. It's just weird to see the offense vanish down the stretch.
I'm looking, and I'm looking here at what the Kings have done in recent memory, and I'm trying to find what they did at home the Beam Team season, because again, you're dealing with the difference between having expectations and not having expectations. And the Kings, they did not have expectations that high going into the Beam Team season. Everything is loose, everything is fun. And then last season, that is where, all right, we're coming off Beam Team season, we're trying to get it done, and they ultimately did not get it done. So things have changed. Things have changed a little bit.
To answer your question, so in the Beam Team 2023 season, they were 23-18 at home, but they were also 25-16 on the road. So they were a better road team than a home team.
And then what were they last season?
The Sacramento Kings were last year at home 24-17 and on the road 22-19.
Okay, so they're tracking to be way worse than what they were the last two seasons.
You know what? I just realized something in my head as I'm saying this. So at home they've had the same home going into this season. They've had the same home and road record. If you combine the Beam Team season and last year, over the last 2 years, they've had the exact same record at home as on the road. It would be going into this season 47 and I'm trying to do math quickly in my head. It's 47 and something, but basically 47 and 35. So they'd be 47 and 35 at home, 47 and 35 on the road. If we look at this season, the Kings are 4-6 at home and 4-4 on the road. So they are a better road team than a home team in the Mike Brown era.
Well, there you go. I mean, I guess it's better than I thought. It doesn't feel like it, and there's been so much kind of talked about the home record that I thought it was worse than that. Hey, they got a winning record. It's just not when we come, it's an automatic victory. And I guarantee you most of those losses are that first game after a road trip, because when they come home, typically that tends to be an L. Let's get to Edward here, who's been hanging on, 916-339-1140. Edward, welcome to the show. What you got?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
It's really just my opinion. I don't feel like it's anybody's fault individually. I feel like as a team, the players need to be accountable, and as fans, we need to be a little bit more lenient on. I feel like people think because we added DeRozan to the roster and we kept Monk that it was going to make us an automatic championship contender team. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like we have a lot to work on. I feel like half of me wants to push the panic button and half of me wants to ride out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I feel like, I just feel like, we still haven't played Devin Carter. I feel like, I want to see a little bit of Isaac Jones action along with Sabonis. That's, put them in together. They can guard the paint and keep Ellis and Fox and Keegan Murray on the perimeter. Last night I was seeing Domas guarding the perimeter a little bit, and I don't think that I don't know who signed off on that, and I don't think that's going to work out at all. I feel like keep Domas in the perimeter. Let's utilize a little bit of Orlando Robinson and Isaac Jones, and you know what I mean? Those are bigs that we can use along with Domas.
Yeah.
I feel like Domas can't do it all. We're asking a lot of him, and that's okay that we are. But I feel like he cannot do it by himself.
Yeah,
to depend on him to guard the paint, solely him. It's a ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Edward. We got to get to the other side. Great stuff as always. Look, I will say this, and Edward makes a great point because you're not even 20 games into the season. We knew there was going to be a transition period. If you can get hot, this thing is nowhere near cooked. We knew that they were going to continue to work on things and figure out what worked. We haven't seen a ton of, I guess, potential would be the word. But to Edward's point, And I'm not going to put that much on Devin Carter because I feel like a lot is being put on him. But there is a world where you can say, hey, if you can beat and I know I said the same thing yesterday, but if you can turn things around in Minnesota, and that's the 19th game of the season, that's the 19th game of the season, and then start to turn back the tide once you hit game 20, and you're done with the first quarter of the season, this thing isn't done. We haven't, the reason a lot of people aren't believing that because we haven't seen anything similar to that yet. Kyle's giving me the Dame Lillard. We got to get to the other side. Robert, we see you. Javier, we see you. Mike, we see you. We're getting to all of you as we return. We got the text and the Sack Chat as well on YouTube. If you're driving, about to get home, you want to continue to listen, fire up the old YouTube search, Sacktown Sports 1140. We got you there. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Get Black Friday savings right now at Folsom Lake Kia. Coach Christie here reminding you, if you're in the market for a new car, now through Monday, shop Folsom Lake Kia for massive Black Friday discounts. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard. You have to shovel. Another blizzard. You slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ooh, ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
There are Black Friday deals, and then there are Kohl's Black Friday deals. Where else can you get 40% off Levi's, up to 50% off Sephora fragrances, and home favorites for under $10, all in the same place? And it gets better. You can score extra Kohl's Cash with $15 earned for every $50 spent. Get 15% off some of your finds, and save even more with limited time doorbusters, like 50% off toys. Select styles. Offers end November 29th. Coupons do not apply to Levi's and toys. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. Some restrictions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We design, tinker, redesign, and obsess over every detail because we know the pros will too. Straight cuts, tight tolerances, clean lines. Again and again and again. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno. Or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, and other offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
From the 209, Allen Stiles here, Sacktown Sports. Kyle, what is this? I like this.
This is Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter. The #1 song in America back in May. #1 song in the world.
You know that I thought this whole time I thought it was Casey Musgraves singing the song.
No, this is Sabrina Carpenter.
Doesn't it kind of sound like her though?
Sort of.
I'll talk to Pat, Tom, and Cody.
Please, please,
Yeah,
don't prove I'm right.
Yeah, Pat, Tom, and Cody, they know. All right.
Do they know Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Don't play them like that.
Bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice.
Well, as we're playing some Sabrina Carpenter, I couldn't think of a better text to read right now from the 209. This team has no attitude, no nasty, no snarl. If the championship was for whoever was the nicest team, whoever was the highest character guys, sure, Sacramento wins in spades. But nobody's afraid of us right now. Lyle is our meanest, nastiest guy, and that should concern people. Here we are, back to the same conversation that we've had before as far as no dog. JaVale essentially said on these airwaves, the Kings need a dog. You know, you got better with DeMar DeRozan, and his nickname is Debo, but do you need some type of enforcer type? I think that Malik has plenty of dog in him. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that meeting today. But the question is, let's think about last night, right? The question of the whole dog conversation. Oklahoma City Thunder with one of the brightest futures in the NBA. And I'm not being facetious. I'm asking, who is their dog? Because, have you heard Jalen Williams talk? Not necessarily the scariest dude. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, did you see what he wore last night? Right? So you have those guys. Isaiah Hartenstein, who they just had. They didn't have him last season when they were #1 in the West. Chet Holmgren. Alex Caruso's a dog on the court, but I don't think he didn't even play last night, by the way. I don't think he's getting into it with anyone. So I'm not saying that, because we see this a lot with the Kings, and the Kings need a dog. I'm asking on a team like the Thunder. I know they bark during their post-game pressers, but who's the dog?
Lou Dort.
I guess is it Lou Dort?
I think it's Lou Dort.
Is it Lou Dort?
Yeah,
Lou
Dort
is
the enforcer.
You might have me on that one. Good job, Kyle. The Dorture Chamber.
The Dorture Chamber.
Yeah, you might have me on
that. You
got
to carry the Dorch.
But he's a guard. He's a guard. He's not a big man.
Well, this is the weird thing about the Thunder. Like, their entire team is guards. Like, Isaiah Joe is listed as a guard, and he was playing, 4 and 5 last night. So it's like...
You're telling me, is it a defense thing? Because you're telling me Lou Dort got more dog in him than Malik? I'm not believing that.
I'm not saying that. I'm unfamiliar with Lou Dort's game, so I'm not exactly... I'm not sure how much dog he's bringing on the court out there at whatever their stadium is.
I guess I'm asking, is it more about a personality off the court or on the court? Is it a defense thing? break down the no attitude dog thing for me, because I Lou Dort, yes, he's a great defender, but I don't know that he's answering the dog call, right? It's easy to say this when you're not winning. So now you're looking for reasons, you're looking for explanations. And when you're winning like the Thunder, you don't need a dog apparently, because you're winning.
Well, I think last night also, you don't need a dog when everything you're trying to do is going as you want to do it. Like SGA is executing the offense exactly how he wants to do it. You're getting your spray threes. Hartenstein's hitting those like little bank shots.
If I see another Hartenstein a teardrop, just like Mike Brown said, I'm going to lose my top.
One of them, he shot like a sky hook fade over the shoulder and banked in. Yeah.
I think he banked it. All right, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Mike. Wants to be part of the conversation. Javier and Robert, we see you. But Mike, the floor is yours. What you got for us, Mike?
Yeah, well, first up, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first time he got me, I was like, that looks kind of suspect. Is he flopping around? And then he just kind of pushes off on Sabonis. The game was still in reach for the Kings. He goes to the ground, crashes. It doesn't look natural. And then he smiles at the fans like, gotcha. I'm like, yo, why don't you just, like, find these guys, a couple of times? So when Fox tries to do it, he's coming down the lane. He does a little extra. There's no call. And I just felt like, Hartenstein, what do you guys think about that? Don't you think he was flopping around on purpose? Because, it just seemed like unnatural, the way he's falling to the ground.
Yeah.
And to smile on top of it, it just looks like it makes the referees look bad.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Great stuff. And that's the tough part, because that's why we say the Kings play ethical basketball. They're not flopping around. They're not hunting for fouls. The problem is, if you're ethics don't matter.
I don't want
right now.
I don't want to do this right now, but what is the difference in ethical basketball between like DeRozan and Shea? Because both of them get to the free throw line a lot.
No.
Like
Kyle.
I said, I don't want to do this.
Well, you're doing it now, and I'll tell you right now. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he gets to the lane with no intention of scoring the basketball. DeMar DeRozan is always intending on trying to score.
It's the baiting thing, right? That's the thing.
It's the baiting. Look, these are all. Look, you talk about Kendrick Lamar and how he has disciples like JID and dudes like that. James Harden has disciples, and they're sprinkled all around the NBA. Okay, he's got Luka as a disciple. He's got Shea as a disciple. He's got disciples everywhere. They learned from somebody. I read somewhere they said James Harden may have been more influential to the game than Steph Curry, or as influential. They learned from this dude.
It's so funny that you said that, because you know how everyone puts Trae Young as the stereotypical like Steph Curry narrative arc? Trae Young's a foul merchant, dude. And
they all learned.
It's interesting how that works. But besides the point, to caller Mike's point, I know Morgan Reagan was saying the same thing on the postgame show last night, which is like the flopping and the selling the calls. I know they overturned the one that was an offensive foul on Sabonis, but it was like, you could sense the frustration in real time. And obviously it wasn't as, Fox got another technical, but it wasn't as Mike Brown freaking out on Sunday, or Fox getting a technical for bleeping the referee. It's like they were palpably frustrated, but it wasn't like they were just outwardly angry like it was on Sunday. You could just see like subtle frustration. Sabonis like grabbing at a shoulder, and it's just, I think it was frustrating as it was happening, but what are you going to do on those ones?
And honestly, from the outside looking in, some people would put Sabonis not in that category, but Sabonis getting hacked all the time. So sometimes he has to sell it a little bit to show to the refs, hey, I'm getting hacked, So he's nowhere near the level of the Thunder in general. And Hartenstein, they're all just learning from Shea. There was that one play towards the end of the game where Hartenstein, it ended up being a take foul on Sabonis, and he ends up on the ground. So it's just not great basketball to watch. So I hear you on that, Mike. Let's get to Robert, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Robert? What you got for us?
Sacramento. This is the first-time caller. Yeah, Sacramento, everybody's overreacting. Okay. This is really an easy quite easy fix. It's too early to be pushing the panic button. There's 3 essential elements that are affecting this team right now. That's going to be called culture, chemistry, and responsibility. Okay? So when is the last time that the Sacramento Kings actually had 3 amazing stars on the team? What you're having a transfixation of one's mind, because right now what they're trying to do is they're trying to discover a way that they can fit into the element a little bit easier. So you might get less shots. So where's your responsibility? Your responsibility is going to be is taking a look at yourself and saying, okay, well, maybe I might get less shots. What else can I do to impact this team? Well, if we look at Michael Jordan, when he came out, he made most amazing impact on the game. He scored quite a few points, scoring titles, MVPs, but his team was losing. So what did he do later on? He came back and said, hey, I just have to be a deflection. And the deflection is, well, I can create a better atmosphere for my team, better chemistry, and now I have a winning program. That's all it is. We're just hitting the panic button. It's too premature.
All right. Thank you for the call, Robert. That was very philosophical.
Like Robert. His first time call, and he has this nice philosophical spiel about calmness and responsibility. That's a great call right there.
Great call, Robert, and please keep calling. I guess my question is, when is it time to hit the panic button? Because is it at the 20-game mark? Because we're 2 games away. That's my question.
I'll say this: it's not November 26th at 10:42 a.m.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying they got to make up for these games that they're losing, and not so much last night against the Thunder, but the 3 games prior to it. Javier, you will kick us off in about 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere, and if you're listening, you don't go anywhere either. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list.
This holiday season, spread cheer by donating to a child in need and enjoy $20 off your next Toyota service. Now through December 10th, bring an unwrapped toy to a participating Toyota service center and support the California Highway Patrol's Toy Drive. Chips for kids. Give joy, get joy, and celebrate the season of giving exclusively at participating Toyota service centers. Toyota, let's go places. Toyota and Scion owners only. Toy value must be at least $10. Some restrictions apply. See a participating dealer for details.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Your gas light's on. We need to fill up.
Gas around here is too expensive.
Don't drive all over searching for the lowest prices. Just download the free Upside app and get cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying gas? I'm stopping now to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. That's promo code RADIO.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Ram Power Days now that Black Friday's here?
We're giving you a head start on the new year when you save up to $17,500 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, starting as low as $36,325.
Wow, already that kind of savings on next year's models?
Yep, there's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation.
Don't miss the savings on those new 2025 Rams right now at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,500 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 after 12,000 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 SFS bonus cash. Must finance through Stellantis. 3,000 Hoblet select inventory coupons. 500 on-the-job upfit incentive with proof of business ownership and 2,000 in Hoblet trade-in assistance for eligible trade-ins. 10 at the net savings. See dealer for details. 36,325 in 544-890.
Black Friday has officially landed at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento. The best deals of the year on power tools are happening now from November 25th through December 2nd. Get low-price Makita Bear tools starting at just $89. Makita batteries starting at only $49, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to grab the hottest power tool deals of the year. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit us in person at 6701 Power Inn Road or shop online anytime at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Flying through this first hour here with Allen Stiles. Sactown Sports. Call behind the glass, taking up to 2 p.m. Calls are already flying in and blowing up the phone lines. We have some texts to get to as well. And the Sack Chat is rocking and rolling as always. As promised, Javier, the floor is yours, 916-339-1140, if you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Javier? How you doing? What you got for us?
How you doing, Mr. South? So I was at the game yesterday, and
oh no,
it's just apparent, like Monty McNair is going to sit on his hands and wait for the perfect deal, and the chips have to be in the correct formation for you. It's just you're gonna end up like I think I said yesterday, like the Jazz losing Donovan Mitchell. They are not a team that has perimeter defenders in any way, shape, or form. It takes not only us, but it could have blind man Stevie Wonder in there, seeing that they don't have any perimeter defenders. They were out Chet Holmgren, their best big, two other starters, the other Jalen Williams, and Caruso, and they dog walked the Kings.
Yeah.
But yeah, the referees are horrible. They're probably the worst. I can't stand refs. Being a four-year high school football player and four-year college football player, I've never liked referees a day in my life. But they got mollywopped out there. And I just don't look at McNair like, yo, do you realize you're playing with fire, man? Like, dog, if we don't have, like, we are an average team at best. And we're not going to be bad, or we're not going to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, into the offensive firepower, because the teams have figured out how to stop the DHO, have stopped, everything with the movement. I wouldn't even say so much the movement, but like I said, the dribble handoff and the pick and roll game. Kevin Huerter, there's an ATV on him. I don't know what he's waiting for, but 20 games in, we're 2 games under. I mean, that's a fourth of the season. Like, yeah. But to lose 4 straight like this, like, granted, they won those games against Brooklyn like they should have, and then the game against Atlanta, you'd be 10-8.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Javier. As always, great stuff. You know what Javier reminded me of? I know y'all remember this, but this is after Boogie left Sacramento. That meme where Boogie is just unbothered as Karl Anthony Towns is trying to drive on him. That's the Kings offense right now. That's the Kings offense right now. And Boogie, he is the defense across the league when they're running their little DHO and the flow offense, and then you're clanking threes anyway. Just unbothered by the Kings and that offense that they've been putting out there. And it's a different version of the offense, right? Because you have DeMar DeRozan, but that's essentially what other teams are looking at when it comes to the Kings. And part of that is because you're not making your shots. So it's not that the DHO is or isn't working, but at the same time, you're getting open shots and missing them. This is from Brendan Nunez, of course, our guy. And he said this yesterday. OKC's 15-4 run towards the end of the third quarter turned a 1-point Kings lead into a 12-point deficit. Sacramento never recovered from there as the Thunder has continued to rein in triples. Just too long of a really bad offensive lull. You know what really got me on that? That was literally why DeMar DeRozan was brought in. He was literally brought in to prevent 15-4 runs. And maybe we put too much on DeMar DeRozan, who played really well, had a 30-burger, so don't get me wrong. But you go on a 15-4 run, that's literally, okay, this isn't a matter of the Kings going cold because they never warmed up. From three, that was supposed to prevent those type of runs from happening. So that's a problem. Kyle, let's get to the sound from Mike Brown as we try to do, especially with the home games. Mike Brown, we have the post-game intro. This is how we kicked things off yesterday and what he had to say, and then we will get back to your calls and your texts and continue the conversation. This is Mike Brown as soon as he sits down at the podium last night.
Give Oklahoma City a lot of credit. One of the things that they, when you watch them play, their level of consistency in terms of how they play for 48 minutes is pretty high. And, I'm talking both ends of the floor. But offensively, they did the same thing. They didn't do anything tricky. They did the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They either brought the big into a pick and roll or they brought a small into a pick and roll trying to get a mismatch. And once they had the pick and roll advantage, they put their head down, they drove the ball, and they touched the paint. And if you commit a second guy to help on the dribble drive, every single one of those guys, not most of the time, not sometimes, every single time they got off the ball, they sprayed the ball, and they knocked down shots. And to have that level of consistency, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and not get bored with it again, is pretty high level. So you give them a lot of credit. We tried blitzing Shea, we tried switching versus Shea, we tried a normal coverage versus Shea, and if we blitzed him, he just got off it. If he touched the paint and we brought help over, he just got off of it. And all their guys either caught it and shot it or caught it and drove it, trying to bring help again, and then they got off of it. They sprayed it. So I give them a lot of credit. They had 4 straight 30-point quarters against us at a pretty high level. And at the end of the day, when you play those guys, we just have to sit down. We got to guard. We got to do a better job of containing the dribble drive, because that's what starts their whole thing is the drive. And whether it's, again, the pick and roll by a big or pick and roll by a small, that's what they're going to do to you every single play. For us offensively, I thought, we were doing the same thing in the first half. We had 17 assists. We were touching the paint. We were spraying the basketball. Our spacing was great. And then as the game went on, especially as they got a little bit of a lead, we started touching that paint and taking some tough shots. And, again, we have to make sure that we are okay with doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you touch that paint, you draw a second guy offensively, you got to spray it, and then you got to knock down the shot. And I think in maybe the second half or maybe in it might have been the second half, we might have been 1 for 13, I think, from the floor. From the 3-point line. So again, we got to get to a point where we're spraying it, but not only are we spraying it, but we're knocking down the shot. And that's part of the reason, too, why some guys may try to finish, because you go through droughts of missing threes. And then, you're like, hey, let me see if I can do this on my own. So we have to keep playing the right way. We're doing it in spurts, but we have to try to do it as close to 48 minutes as possible.
The most frustrating thing is when he says he sounds like Marshawn. They're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. I think the initial thought when you hear that is, well, what are you trying to do to prevent that, right? Or what is the counter to say, hey, we know what they're trying to do. How do we stop that? And I think at that point, if you're Mike Brown, what it sounds like to me is Mike Brown saying, I don't have that answer on this roster, or I don't have enough of this answer on this roster. When these dudes have to blitz, every night they're having to blitz somebody. You got to blitz. Okay, you got to blitz Shea. That's fine. Not before you got to blitz Cam Thomas. And that's no disrespect to Cam Thomas, but you can't blitz every single night. And if we're going to sit here and talk about Keon Ellis being an elite defender, and I know he's still growing as a player, the math ain't mathing. If you have elite defenders in Keegan and Keon Ellis, why do you have to blitz all the time? Because you blitz, and the blitz thing to me, it's love and hate. But at the same time, these teams know what to do. They did it with Luka last season, and Dante Exum made a 3. That knocked them out or knocked them into the play-in. The blitzing, everybody has seen it before. The only dudes I never really see gets blitzed are dudes on the Kings. Maybe De'Aaron Fox. They didn't even blitz De'Aaron Fox. That's why he dropped 60. But it's like this team, no matter what they have, they have to blitz and they have to make up. And these teams that they're going against, they're used to it. They understand what's going on. Matt, we see you kick off the 11 o'clock hour, and we have more sound from Mike Brown and the frustrations that are going on in the locker room right now. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacramento Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We obsess over fit, finish, and feel. Every detail, from coatings to contours, all to create tools that won't hold you back, so you can build more and never settle. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno. Or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
I'm Coach Doug Christie, urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia for massive Black Friday discounts on your next new or certified pre-owned Kia. Now through Monday, hurry to Folsom Lake Kia, FolsomLakeKia.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Well, you might like sweet potato pie, might like pecan pie, might like pumpkin pie. We're going to play a little bit of blame pie in a second here. Mike Brown talks about facing adversity. We're going to play that sound for you. And the slices of pie that you could have during this Thanksgiving week. But Matt told you you're going to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. Let's do it. What's up, Matt? You're on with Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. What you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'll be quick. I think it's time to start Monk. You guys were talking about who's the dog on our team. We already know it's Monk. He plays a more physicality, heart. He goes, he gets it. I get it. I get the debate why he comes off the bench. I get it. The length, 6 man. We need that shooter off the bench. But right now, what's the point of him coming off the bench if we're playing uphill every game right now and we're playing down? What's the point of that? And I like what I see from Kevin Huerter this season. He's playing better defense. He's doing little things. But to me right now, it seems like offense right now is our biggest issue.
Yeah,
And I just say, I'm not saying start him every game. I'm not saying the rest of the year, but I think it's time to put him in the starting lineup, depending on the team we're playing, the lineups, the matchups. But I think it's time to put in Monk and start him a lot more.
Time to hit that emergency button, Matt says. Thanks for the call, Matt. Great stuff. I will say this. That's the one thing the Kings haven't done yet. And, the bottom line is everybody having conversations, and throughout the season it's been, and last season as well, we need Monk to come off the bench. Why is it Malik Monk's fault that the bench stinks? Why is that Malik Monk's fault? If I'm Malik Monk, I'm thinking, what's that got to do with me?
Last night, didn't he have 14 of the 22 points off the bench?
Why do I have to be the one to sacrifice? Why do I have to come off the bench? Because the bench stinks. Why do I have to sacrifice? So again, I'm not saying that this would be a fix-all at all, but as you look at the different combination of things, Mike Brown, and the reason it doesn't really come up that much anymore is because Mike Brown has gone Nick Saban on us and said, I'm not doing it, so don't ask. So the media, we don't even ask him anymore in pregame, postgame pressers. We don't even ask him about that anymore because it's just an asinine question. But to Matt's point, is it time to have that conversation? If you're looking around and you're hitting the emergency button and you've done everything else, you can't start. You have to start Keegan Murray. Okay, you look around. There's nothing else you can do. You cannot start Trey Lyles. You can't. What else can you do? Keon Ellis, the way he shoots the basketball, and the defense has been an issue as well, and that's part of it. Keon Ellis, I think the team looked better. And maybe the argument would be, okay, well, before we go to Malik, let's see what it looks like with Keon because of how poorly the Kings are defending the three ball. But last night, they shoot 45% from three anyway with Keon starting.
I also like what caller Matt brought up, which is that Kevin Huerter has gone from being a net negative on defense his first year and a half with the Kings to being a net positive this year. The deflections, the steals have been up for him. Defensive rating is up. But at the same time, he's putting up 0-point games on offense.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to kind of take both of those things at the same time and evaluate what you're actually getting from Kevin Huerter. I like that they made the switch in the starting lineup last night. I know we talked about it on the air yesterday, but I don't know exactly where Kevin Huerter fits into that picture at this point.
Yeah, and you have to see Keon a couple more games first. See if this thing can turn around. And then I would say, all right, Malik, because the bench does stink, and you do need bench scoring. So the hope is that you get Keon, who's been shooting the basketball very well, and you get his defense. And look, the Thunder, they're one of the best teams in the league. So let's see what it looks like. No clue if Keon's going to start again, but let's see what it looks like against the Timberwolves tomorrow night. And if it still doesn't look any better, then I think you start to play with the idea of Malik Monk, because that's really what we haven't seen. We haven't seen, because Malik got injured. So, and Kevin Huerter got injured. So we haven't really seen a full however many games of Keon Ellis starting, Kevin Huerter off the bench, Malik Monk off the bench. We saw that last night against one of the best teams in the league, who is in the conversation to win the whole thing. So let's see and I get it, that's where the Kings are trying to get to, but let's see what this looks like against the Timberwolves, who are no slouch, but they've struggled a little bit themselves. Let's see what happens this against them the next couple games, and then let's react from there. And Jay on the SAC chat, I don't believe that's Jay Johnson, but Jay on the SAC chat is saying OKC was not even fully healthy. You're right. They were missing Chet Holmgren. They were missing Alex Caruso. Does this game say more about OKC or more about the Kings? I think you could ask 10 people and get 10 different answers.
We talked about it yesterday. Imagine being OKC, who going into yesterday was 12-14, now 12-4, now 13-4. Best record in the Western Conference. And it's actually been a disappointment so far this year. Like, they expect to be better than where they are, and reasonably should expect to be better than where they are, which is first place in the Western Conference. It's a really, really good team and a really great place to be in for them.
The good thing, and I was listening to Kyle Draper yesterday on my way home, and he always does a good job of being optimistic. The good thing is, if you do look at, you could have taken advantage, and I know Carmichael Davis talked about how easy the schedule was, and this is true, but you can't cry about spilled milk. It is what it is. Moving forward, the good thing is that there are opportunities. You look at the Western Conference and the teams that are ahead of the Kings and who you believe in. The Warriors are 12. We know who the Thunder are. That was a team everybody knew would be at the top. Everybody else, we really had no clue. The Warriors are starting to cool off a little bit. We'll see if they are fool's gold or not, as they dropped 2. They blew a 17-point lead against the Spurs a couple nights ago. Then they blow an 18-point lead against the Nets last night. So they're now 12-5. They've been a surprise. The Houston Rockets are 12-6. Sure, they're respectable.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what to do with them.
Like, cool.
Yeah, cool. And so you have the Thunder is who we actually believe. I don't necessarily believe the Warriors yet. I don't believe the Thunder or the Rockets, excuse me, they're 12-6. I definitely don't believe the Lakers. They're 10-6. The Memphis Grizzlies are 11-7. Ja is in and out. I don't believe in them.
I don't know. I think they're really good.
I think they'll be in the playoffs, but I don't. I don't know where.
I think they'll be top 5 in the West, I think.
The Clippers, no clue when they're going to get Kawhi back, so they're going to stay in that 6 to 10 range. The Phoenix Suns got to get healthy. You know I'm not high on the Denver Nuggets. The Dallas Mavericks, they could have been a flash in the pan last season. I believe I read something going into this week. Russell Westbrook had a better 3-point percentage than Klay Thompson. That's what I read going into this basketball week. And then you have the Spurs at 9-8 and the Timberwolves at 8-8. So again, we hoped that the Kings, and they're not done, right? Of course, they're 5.5 games back of first place, which is kind of insane. But you can still get to anywhere that 4 seed range. You got to get hot, of course, and hope these other teams don't get hot. It's all in front of them, and we move from there. So you can turn it around. It's just a matter of whether anybody believes that you can turn it around. Oh, here we go. Here we go from the 916. Giannis, you got to give up Keegan, Herter, and Carter plus picks be available. Aside from Fox and DeMar, if a star is available, it's time to consider going for a big splash trade. Giannis, you got to make that. I still don't think that money works, 916.
Yeah, they also don't have the best offer either. I can name 3 teams right now that have a better offer.
Yeah, but we'll play the game. Keegan, Herter, Carter, plus picks. And now like I said, the problem there, 916, and I respect the hustle. The problem there is the money, not to get too in the weeds. But the problem there is Keegan and Kevin Herter aren't making enough money. That would be the issue there. And like we always joke, you'd probably need to give up as many picks as the first rights to Rain Fox. That's what you're giving up. De'Aaron's son, he'd be going to the Bucks as well. So I respect the hustle, but there's some logistics. But if you want to at least have a high level conversation about the splash, here's the problem. You have other conversations throughout the league as far as everybody feeling like it's early. Paul George is saying, mark my words, on one of his 18 podcasts, the Sixers are going to turn it around. So I think right now, most teams are internally saying, because you got to think about it like this. Looking for a trade right now is admitting that you tricked off the offseason. It's admitting that you messed up. It's being self-aware enough to say, we thought something was going to work and we didn't. So any team, and that's not just a Monty McNair thing, that's anybody that's struggling. So all these GMs are kind of just playing, chicken right now to say, well, I'm not going to admit I was wrong. Well, I'm not going to admit I was wrong. So you have the Bucks GM not wanting to admit that. The Sixers GM not wanting to admit that. Monty McNair not wanting to admit that. So right now it's a game of chicken where it's, all right, well, who's going to be the first one to say, yeah, I bleeped up this offseason. Nobody wants to do that.
I've got good news for our texter from the 916. If we also include Malik Monk into this deal, the money works.
Yeah, there's no way. So Kevin Herter, Malik Monk, we're really doing this. This is what happens when you drop 4, Kings. This is your fault.
Let me just say, I don't want to do this.
But let's do the exercise.
Forced against my will to pull up Trade Machine.
First of all, that spacing would be Basuda. That spacing would be trash.
You mean De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis,
DeMar DeRozan, and
Giannis, and Trey Lyles?
That's terrible. That is terrible. So Keegan, Kevin, Malik,
and Devin Carter,
and picks for Giannis. That's probably the most realistic deal, to be honest, but I'm not doing it. I'm not touching that. I just don't think it's a great fit. I'm not touching that. All right. What we are going to get into is this team meeting conversation, but we still have sound as well from Mike Brown on the team facing adversity and that tasty blame pie 916 getting Giannis. Come on now. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free fries from McDonald's, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, you are just now joining us. Welcome to the program as we are breaking down all things Sacramento Kings. By the way, Mike Brown, you fined, was it $35,000 for the altercation, interaction with the ref a couple games ago against the Nets. So Mike Brown is going to wear that in the wallet. And not only does he wear it in the wallet, $35,000 for aggressively pursuing a league official in Sunday's loss to the Nets. Look, I thought he could have got ejected right there. I mean, he gave him a little chest bump. I thought he could have got ejected, and $35,000 would definitely have been worth it if they got the W, but I think is still worth it for whatever it's worth. I think it could have been more. So
what was it last year where right before the All-Star break he got fined and he lost his Tahoe money?
Yes,
for his trip to Tahoe, his vacation
was that
money?
the laptop thing?
I think that was the laptop thing,
meme.
which, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. That's like one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Like the pulling out the receipts to show it at the press conference. But yeah, he lost his vacation money today.
Yeah, well, the laptop is actually double because he got either a tech or ejected, and then he said, "No, I'm going to show you why this happened."
One of the greatest I think that might have been my favorite moment of last year was pulling out the laptop to show receipts.
All right, well, speaking of Mike Brown, he was asked about the team facing adversity, and this is what he had to say.
We're going through some now, and we're going to see how mentally and physically tough we are as a group, as well as sticking together to try to get through it. And so it's what's in front of us, and we got to handle it right.
Got to handle it right. There will be some sort of meeting. I don't know if it's going to be players only. I don't think it's going to be that. We will hopefully have more details for you once it all happens, if it hasn't already. So yeah, the Kings are going to really sit down and figure this thing out. And it's always tough, right? Tough conversations, they're a part of life. But as long as everybody takes accountability, that's the first step. The problem is, and when it comes to shooting, ain't nobody out there trying to miss, right? They're not, enter name here. They're not trying to brick. Oh, I'm going to go out there and try to shoot 25%. So the problem with these conversations is ultimately you just have to do it. If Malik Monkey's saying that they have conversations after every loss, well, you got to talk about something else because it ain't working. You on 4 straight. So they got to dig deep in and figure this thing out. Okay, let's have some fun, if you will, as Chris is the guy or the person who sent through the Giannis trade. And now Chris is on the line. Chris, the floor is yours. You're on with Allen Stiles. What you got for us, Chris?
And, first I got to say, sorry, Cal, I didn't mean to force you against your will to pull up that trade machine. I don't want to do it myself, right?
I am
I
unfortunately now adding draft picks to the trade against my will.
No, obviously this is the last conversation that I was hoping to be having, right? At the beginning of the year, I did have some excitement. I felt like with the play of DeMar and Herter was really active. I felt like we were looking good, but Malik's been out, but I just feel like this is 3 years now, right? And to my point, it could be Domas. I think something's got to change, and obviously it's above my pay grade, right? I understand the money doesn't work, and I'm not giving up Keegan, Herter, and Malik plus everything else, right? I just think and here's my frustration, right, is we don't have shooters, right? And I don't know, Giannis might not be the only fix, right? We need more. But it seems like every other team, they come in and they shoot the lights out against us, right? We get these wide open looks, Keegan wide open, same thing that these other teams are getting, and we're missing them, right? These teams are killing it on the three-point shot. And I'd love to see over the last 5 to 6 games what their three-point percentage given up is. It's got to be astronomical. But I just think, that we've run the course for 3 years, it's on the third year, and, it's not changing, right? We're still terrible defensively on the three-point line, and we're not shooting the ball well. Something's got to change. Like I said, it's above my pay grade. Giannis, Jimmy Butler. I would love to say Joel Embiid, but the guy can't stay healthy and stay on the court. But you know what I mean? To that caller's point earlier, I think it was Javier maybe, but he said, we need some protection, right? Hartenstein would have been great. I would have loved to have Hartenstein back up Domas. Something like that, protection plus a shooter. I don't know. I'll take your guys' answer off the air. I think some change is needed. Let me know what you think.
Thanks for the call, Chris. Great stuff there. And to your point, Chris, they had crept up a little bit, the Sacramento Kings, as far as that opponent three-point percentage. So they were close. They were second to last, and then they crept up to, I think they were tied for fourth or third to last. After last night, they are firmly in second to last place. Again, the Atlanta Hawks, who are terrible, and they did beat the Kings, by the way. The Atlanta Hawks, they are giving up 39.9% from three-point range. The Sacramento Kings firmly in second to last place at 38.1%. The Cavs are at 30. Nobody else is even at 38 or worse than 38 besides the Hawks. So that's who the Kings have been this season. And again, when you give up threes and you can't make threes, that's a problem. That's a problem. As far as the trades are concerned, I do think it's interesting because you have decided, and maybe it's a matter of shaking up how this team is built. We can't have conversations about Valanciunas because Domantas Sabonis is the center. We can't have conversations about Isaiah Hartenstein because Domantas Sabonis is the center, and he's a very specific type center. So when you're having to turn down, and a lot of people want him to play the four, that didn't look great. I know Alex Len is not Isaiah Hartenstein or Jonas Valanciunas, but we saw a version of that, and it didn't look great. It didn't look great. And I know he's shooting the three ball better, so maybe you try it again, but you can't really move him to four. So he continues to play five. So you can't add on these more traditional fives. So you're stuck, and he is so productive. That's where the Kings have been.
I don't know. Isaac Jones coming in yesterday gave them good minutes during the game. I just, if Trey Lyles is going to be out for an extended period of time, then I really don't know what the answer is. But it seems like right now it's just day to day with the calf issue.
Right. Well, but that's the thing. That's a four. Right. A lot of people have wanted to bring in a real five, but you're not going to sit Valanciunas on the bench. Isaiah Hartenstein, I'll come off the bench for a team that's top in the West.
That has Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, I'm not coming off the bench. And they might run both of them at some point because Chet can stretch the floor. So that's where things are at right now. KD, let's get to you. What you got to say?
Hey, what's happening, you guys? Hey, I don't want you to get me wrong because I really like Sabonis. I don't know if it's funny on this show, but they were saying Sabonis is the best player on the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that a couple of weeks ago, and I just don't agree with that because Fox could bring it anyways. In my opinion, one of the best two-way players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his defense. So this kind of leads me to what I'm saying. The Kings are not athletic enough. Nobody's really talking about that because if you have Alex Len coming in for Sabonis is putting in his work. I love Sabonis as a person. He's a good player. But the problem is when you get these long, leaky teams coming in that can shoot and they're athletic, man, we have problems. And it was even last year. You remember Toronto and all the teams that were giving us fits. So Monty McClure needs to kind of wake up and realize that the league is a lot faster and a lot more athletic than he's given credit to. And if somebody could shoot the ball, then shoot the ball. But if they're not making shots, they got to go.
Yeah. Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for the call, KD. We're up against it. KD brings up a great point. Right now, there are essentially two models in the NBA, and I might be forgetting one, but off the top of my head, the first model is we are going to be a smaller team, and we're going to run you up and down the gym. We are smaller, but we are hyper athletic. The second model is we're going to go more traditional. We're going to have lob threats. We're going to have a center that is going to bang you around and get it done that way. The Kings don't fit either of those models. They don't fit either of those models. They're small, but they're not that athletic. That's the issue right now with the Sacramento Kings. Okay, let's hear from Domas on the meeting that is going to happen, as well as Malik Monk and Keon Ellis on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Get Black Friday savings right now at Folsom Lake Kia. Coach Christie here reminding you, if you're in the market for a new car, now through Monday, shop Folsom Lake Kia for massive Black Friday discounts. FolsomLakeKia.com.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers, not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, it's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, But we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
When it's cold and rainy outside, Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a full furnace tune-up, just $59. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
You ever get a email from your boss or text? Hey, gotta have a quick chat. Hey, impromptu meeting. It's never good. It's not usually good. Well, I guess I could say you're either getting a promotion or raise or something is not right.
It can be good sometimes.
It can be good. And maybe it'll be good for the Kings because apparently the Kings will be having a meeting at some point today. Now, again, there have been, I don't want to say conflicting reports, but apparently the Kings have a meeting after every loss. But based on how it's being discussed and how the media has been approaching it and how they've been talking about it, it feels like this one is going to hit a little harder than, hey guys, we got to be better. What did we do wrong? This one feels more like a players only type meeting. And Esteban on the text line made a good point. It feels like last season in Minnesota was where the Kings had that players only type meeting. So let's get to some sound. This is Domas. Let's kick it off with Domas. And he's asked about, I don't know who initially leaked or mentioned the meeting, but here's Domas on the meeting that they will have today.
Tell them, just come together, and fight for each other.
Being truth-telling segment.
Just truth-telling, just come together, and fight for each other more, but, at the end of the day, we just got to come out and figure ways to get stops, and run and get easy buckets, and make it easier for ourselves on the court.
Here is Malik. We have two clips from Malik Monk, and here's the first clip from Malik Monk being asked about it.
We're going to say something. Okay. I feel like we always say something after every loss, so tomorrow we'll probably say something when we get to Minnesota.
Then Malik is asked, hey, what do you think you're going to say? And this is what Malik had to
What's
say.
your message? Like, what do you kind of have in mind that you want to say?
If I say something to the team, I don't feel like I need to say it to you.
I think he's right. I agree with Malik there. And last but not least, here is Keon Ellis on what he thinks the meeting will be about.
I think they definitely can shift the way things are going because, in those meetings, it's like, everyone just keeps it real and, kind of speak on what we need to fix. So I guess we'll see what's all brought up tomorrow and how we adjust after that.
And that's where I kind of want to go with this, the idea of what can be talked about and what can change versus what can't change, right? The way they're shooting, what are they going to say? Hey, guys, we got to focus more on our wide open threes.
They've been saying that since November 1st.
Right? We got to focus more on our wide open threes. Like, that's the type of stuff. And they shoot 73% from free throw yesterday, so better than what they did against the Nets, but starting to come back to earth a little bit there. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure the Kings are not number one in free throw percentage anymore. But that was fun while it lasted. So the things that they can control, I guess, effort, not arguing with the refs and not getting thrown off their game. That's all fine and good. I think the issue is there's that part of it, but there's also just playing better, making more shots. They were 8 of 32 from 3. The effort thing can only go so far. So that's why I respect them for having this meeting. I'm just not completely sure how much it can solve. I mean, we know going back to the Heat, they were almost in a tough position when they were getting smacked by the Heat out in Miami, and they had this impromptu halftime meeting, came out, ended up beating the Heat in a really close match. So this has helped before, but it's almost it helps for a game or two. You just have to find a way to just perform at a higher level. So I don't know what conversations can be had to perform at a higher level. You got to make open threes. You have to be able to defend the basketball. And again, based on what you're putting on the plate and the ingredients you have in your fridge, how much can you change?
I would imagine the conversation is going to be about information that we are not privy to, right? We only see these guys but so much and only have so much access. There's probably things that we don't know about that need to be addressed. And that doesn't even have to be a scandalous thing. It's just we got to come together. We got to speak our piece. We got to have transparent conversations and figure out kind of how we're feeling about each other and how we're feeling about the play on the court. It doesn't have to be anything scandalous. It's just, it's probably some things that with information that we are not privy to and things that are going on when they're interacting with each other all the time. And even on the court when we're not hearing them talk to each other all the time.
Yeah, as I'm watching the games, I'm just trying to figure out, all right, what can a meeting solve there, right? Because a lot of times when you get that call from your manager, it's something didn't go well, right? Something you messed up something, or you did something very well. We know it's not the latter. But it's typically, if it's not a positive, it's, hey, what happened here? I think there was a miscommunication, or we expected you to do this or that. And none of them, I don't know for a fact if Mike Brown is going to be in the meeting or not. But, the conversations that could be had with them is it's, hey, well, offensively, DeMar, we're going to just try to get other guys going a little bit more. Or Keegan, we need your shooting. We can't be bottom of the barrel shooting the 3-point ball. Keegan, I'm going to step up rebounding the basketball, or I'm going to step up defending. So Keegan, you can get your shots off more and you can focus on that. Maybe it's something like that.
I don't know. I mean, Keegan was letting it fly last night.
He took 8 threes.
And most of them were in the first half. So it wasn't like it was an issue with getting him off. I don't know exactly what the conversations will be about. Maybe we'll get more information after it happens. I assume.
I don't want it. I'll be honest.
Really?
I don't want it.
You don't want it at all.
I just wanted to see you win a basketball game.
I am curious what they say about the meeting, because it's not like they tried to keep this state secrets or anything. Like multiple players were just like, yeah, we've agreed to meet.
I don't think they could though. I think you drop 4 in a row, and I think I would give a shout out to the media here, because I know the media can be much maligned just throughout sports, not just in Sacramento. But I think there was no way they were going to walk out of there after losing 4 straight. And yeah, we just need to focus up. I mean, I think there are a lot of questions about, hey, what are you guys doing? What's going to happen?
But everyone also said it, right? It wasn't like they tried to hide that they were meeting. So, I mean, it's a little more tough because they're about to go on the road, and local media doesn't travel as much on the road. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious if when they get back, people are going to ask them, hey, you said you were going to have this meeting. What ended up looking like?
Well, it depends on what happens, right? You go out and I don't know if more gets said about the meeting if they win or lose. If they lose, it could be more about, hey, so you had the meeting. How'd it go? And even if it's a close game, I think we're past. I know we're only 18 games in, but I think we're past. Well, it was a good effort. If you fried that, you fried your good effort, mulligans and moral victories. You've destroyed that already.
If they lose to Portland on Friday, I think it's going to go from
stop it.
We need to have a meeting to we need to talk.
Yeah, if they lose, and we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves, but I might get stuck in the East Bay. I might get stuck in Concord.
Well, so this is the thing that's pleasant for you and me is that we're gonna go our separate ways. We're gonna have our Thanksgivings, do all that stuff. We got 3 games before we get to come back.
Oh,
We've got Minnesota, Portland, San Antonio.
So we will, the next time we are on the airwaves, we will be past the 20 game.
That is
mark.
correct. We will be at 21 games, which according to my math is 25% of the season.
Man, oh man. Well, look, we are not skipping ahead. We are living in the moment right now. And in the moment, Trey Lyles is dealing with the calf injury. We will break that down. And we will break down the Kevin Huerter conversation. Fine. Is Kevin Huerter the issue, or is it deeper than that? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Toyota's Black Friday sales event ends soon. Take advantage of the biggest savings of the year and gear up for adventure in a legendary Toyota truck.
Ready, set, let's go.
Get $2,000 cash back on Tundra and Tundra Hybrid, or lease a Tacoma 4x4 for as low as $269 a month. The clock is ticking on Toyota's Black Friday sales event. Don't miss out. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium ready credit and 12/2/24.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Black Friday all month long at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Working our way through this Kings mess. I'm looking here, Kyle, because somebody mentioned on the Sack Chat Campio Silva. The big issue is the Kings as far as the money. All the teams over the salary cap make the playoffs. So I looked up the salary cap situations for everybody, and Minnesota is the deepest into the salary cap. I'm looking at where the Kings are at, and the Kings, not to get too in the weeds, but yeah, the Kings are 21st as far as how deep they are over the salary cap. So 21st, and besides playing teams, 8 teams from your conference. So I guess it would be based on the Western Conference. So you have Minnesota, who is number 1. You have the next is the Suns. So they're number 2. They're both in the West. Next would be the Lakers at number 6. Golden State, number 7. So that's now the 4th team in the West. Denver, 5th team in the West. Dallas, 6th team in the West. Pelicans, 7th team in the West. Clippers, 8th team in the West. And even the Trailblazers, that's 9. Memphis, 10. So there are 10 teams that are deeper into the salary cap, or deeper over the salary cap than the Sacramento Kings. So the Kings are the 11th team there. And obviously but last season with the Warriors, that was a terrible look for them because they're that high. They were probably higher last season with Clay, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah.
The Mavericks are 10th. They go to the finals, right? And the Suns, they're number 2, and they didn't do very much. At least the Timberwolves, they were up there. So not a perfect science, but it is interesting to look at the teams that spend money and are willing to spend money. Boston, number 4, of course. Milwaukee, number 3. That's been a disaster. So, there are, and you look at the Wizards are in the worst situation. The Wizards are 5th as far as cap space, and they're 2-13. So it can always be worse, but I understand that conversation. You got to spend money to make money. That's part of it.
So your conversation right there brought me back to the point of what did the teams in the middle of the road do in terms of salary cap? Because we know about the Warriors. They were super expensive last year. They were 10th in the West. We know the Clippers spent a ton of money and they didn't choose to bring back Paul George. Minnesota was super expensive. Phoenix was super expensive, but
some of the notable teams in front of Sacramento, of course, we just can't get away from this team. 20th, and again, this is this season. I guess you could look at last season, but who cares? Let's just look at this season. Indiana is 1 spot in front of the Kings. So Indiana is at 20th. All right. Memphis is at 19th. The Knicks are at 11th. That's pretty middle of the road. The Knicks are at 11th. The Pelicans are at 12th. The Nets are at 13th. They're going to be looking to move off of a lot of that. The Sixers are at 14th. We knew they had plenty of cap space. The Cavaliers are at 15th. So they're feeling really good about it. Clippers have finally dropped, moving off of Paul George. They're 16th. They're feeling good about that as well. So, there's definitely some teams, and I know some people are thinking, how in the world are the Knicks at 11th? I'm with you, but you did have Jalen Brunson cutting a little bit of that paycheck that he was supposed to get. So some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. The Wizards are just cracking me up, by the way. But they're definitely gonna move off of some of this as well. And Chris, we see you. We'll get to you on the phone lines. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting as we came across it. But getting back to the Kevin Huerter conversation and what the Kings can do as far as who is currently on the team. Look, it was tough, and I'm not going to put this on Kevin Huerter, who played 10 minutes. I don't think that's very fair. But this is from Cameron Salerno, who is a Sacramento guy. He covers the team and covers college basketball, college sports as well for CBS Sports. Kevin Huerter checked in with 4 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third quarter. Oklahoma City was up 79-78. When he checked out with a minute 37 left, OKC extended its lead 92-80. The NBA TV broadcast pretty much said the Thunder are hunting the matchup when Huerter checks in. Yeah, we didn't need the broadcast to tell us that. I mean, it was, I don't know if anybody has barbecue chicken on Thanksgiving, but that's what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was smelling last night. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was he was unplayable. He couldn't be played. And again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he does this to a lot of guys. It's not as much of it's a Kevin Huerter thing, but it's also a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander thing.
Yeah. I mean, you forget just how fast he is. You know he's one of the fastest players in the league, but it's just like dribble, moves to his right, and now he's 2 steps ahead of a defender. And even the best they tried Keegan, didn't do anything. They tried Keon, didn't do anything.
That's right.
It's like Shai just had his way with them, and no matter what they tried, collapsing on D. I mean, Mike said it in the post game presser. It's like we tried collapsing on him, he would spray. We tried going matchup-based defense, he would get to the rim. He would get fouls. It's just like no matter what they did. So in that sense, it wasn't a Kevin Huerter problem, but I understood the point. If he was giving you 0 on offense, you'd be better served just going with the Keon Malik.
Can't play him. Can't do it. Can't play. I mean, the separate part of this is, which is tough. I know the Thunder are 13-4, so they play a lot of good games. I've watched the Thunder play a decent bit this season. They were crisp last night. I don't know if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saw the De'Aaron Fox last weekend dropping the 109 and wanted to say, I got something for you, and that's part of the whole dog thing. I don't know what it was, but I will say this. Even though they're in first, second place in the West right now, that was one of the better games that the Thunder, they came to play last night. There was no, and maybe the Kings should look at that as a sign of respect. They didn't think they could roll the ball out at all. They came correct last night. And I don't know what to do with that, but at least you could say they respect you enough to give you, this is where we're at right now. It's a sad statement, but they respect you enough to whoop you know what. I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the answer is exactly, because even when it wasn't Shai, it was Jalen Williams yesterday.
Jalen Williams balled out.
Shai and Jalen Williams combined for 65 points, and I looked this up. This was the second highest combined total of their entire Thunder careers.
Yeah.
3 seasons now, second highest combined total between Shai and Jalen Williams. I mean, they just had their way offensively. And we were doing the prop talk yesterday, and it was like, well, Shai's not going to get to 31, and Jalen's not going to get to 24. No, both of them went over and sat the final 4 minutes of the game. So it's like they just did so much well in terms of offensive execution, not to mention making the 3-pointers, which we've talked about the Kings defending the 3-point line all season long. It was just another problem, of a symptom of a larger problem that we know for the Kings.
Kyle, give me your best guess, and then we're going to get to Chris here. Give me your best guess. What is Oklahoma City shooting from the 3-point line on the season?
As a team? Gosh, I'll go 34%.
34.9.
Oh, look at me being smart.
And what did they shoot last night? 45%.
Yeah, and hit 7 threes in the first half and 7 threes in the second half. So it was an equal opportunity beatdown.
Anybody could get it, and anybody did get it last night if you were wearing a Sacramento Kings jersey. 916-339-1140. Let's get back to the phone lines. Chris wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Chris? You're on down south. What you got for us?
All right, so I went to the game last night. And there's 3 things that the Kings need to do or need to change.
Mm-hmm.
One is stop giving offensive rebounds to the other team.
Mm-hmm.
My Lord. That is sad.
Yeah.
2, man, we need to be bigger. We are small.
Mm-hmm.
We are small. 3, stop shooting the 3 ball. It's okay to take 2s. 2s are okay. It's okay to take a 2. It's okay to come in and take a 2 and get mid-range jumpers and go a layup. It's called basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just chunk up 3s, and when you start chunking up 3s and you miss them, then you become in a bigger hole. Now you're just chunking up 3s and try to get yourself out of the hole. Stop shooting 3s.
Yeah.
It's okay. It is. It's just move the basketball, come inside. I saw DeMar DeRozan have a 3 last night. He did not take the 3. He jumped up, came inside, and got the 2 points. That is okay to do. It's not okay to take shot after shot after shot after 3 after 3, and you keep missing them.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Chris. Great stuff. Well, Chris, here you go. I got the numbers for you right here. The Kings, and a lot of games, the Kings haven't been taking as many 3s as their opponents. And that's kind of part of the problem with their identity right now. They just don't have one. Because last night they take more 3s than the Thunder, which they hadn't been doing. And they take 32 threes and make 8. All right. The Thunder took 31, but they made 14. That's the ball. I hate to say that's the ball game, but that's kind of the ball game. So, Chris, I'm not saying you're wrong as far as the Kings not taking as many. The problem is, and what we've been talking about is you're unable to stop the 3 ball. So that's the issue. And then they feel like they have to. It all starts just like when we were in, what was it? When we were kids, a CYO or AAU, whatever you played, it starts on the defensive end. Because if other teams are now making the 3-ball and you're trying to keep pace, now you feel like you have to shoot. And this team, they were supposed to be 3-point shooters. So they're kind of stuck there saying, well, we have to shoot these because that's what Mike Brown wants.
Well, you made the point of that's the game. And to break it down even further, let's go half by half here. So in the first half, it's 63-62. It's a close game at halftime. Thunder are 7 for 14 from the 3-point line. Kings are 7 of 18 from the 3-point line. Second half, Thunder are 7 of 17 from the 3-point line. Kings are 1 of 14 from the 3-point line. And so right there you see a 21-point gap. The Thunder outscored them by 20 points in the second half, and you just lost 18 points at the 3-point line right there. So in that sense, it was the 3-point shooting of the Kings combined with the Thunder knocking down shots at a high clip.
Hold on, Kyle. For anybody driving or working right now, are you telling me the Kings made 1 3? Not in the second half.
I believe so, because they were 7 of 18 at halftime. So I think they went by my math. They finished 8 for 32. So they went 1 for 14 in the second half.
That is insanity. That's insanity. You can't win and I'm not saying you got to shoot a bunch of threes. And Chris, I hear what you're saying. But if you make, is that correct, Kyle?
1 for 13. They were 1 for 13. So I guess they were 7 for 19 at halftime, but 1 for 13 in the second half.
You're not going to win a basketball game. Now, I guess if you're Chris, you're saying, I guess at that point, you're not making them so move on. But the problem is you're fine. You can move on, but you got to stop them from making 7 threes, which they couldn't do.
Yeah, the Thunder still shot 43% from 3 in the second half. Just real quick before we go to a break, I know we both were watching the game, obviously. Do you remember the King who made the 1 3-pointer in the second half?
Don't tell me. Was it garbage?
It was not garbage, but it was Keon Ellis.
It's best shooter on the team. Best shooter on the team right now. Best 3-point shooter on the team. That's where we're at. All right. We continue the conversation. We got some texts to get through as well. And I want to have a conversation about De'Aaron Fox and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because there was a little bit of disrespect last night, Kentucky on Kentucky. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This Thanksgiving, Paramount Plus serves up a must-see NFL on CBS divisional matchup when Jared Goff and the high-flying Detroit Lions host top draft pick Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. It all kicks off Thursday at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on CBS, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. Anyone can throw in a stronger motor, but it takes precision to find that balance of power, performance, and longevity. We obsess over every detail. We design, test, redesign, and do it all over again to create tools that'll keep going with you from project to project, job site to job site, year after year. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Auto Motor Company. Sold on report.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more super. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Rare Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at HagenOaks.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And now that the holidays are here, there is no better time than right now to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration is back from now through January 2nd. You may say, Kyle, what is the Holiday Love Celebration? Well, let me tell you. At Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you can discover exceptional offers on a new Mercedes-Benz, like the 2025 GLC 300 SUV. It's just $559 a month for 36 months. They also have a full lineup of SUVs, vans, electric vehicles, and of course, certified pre-owned vehicles with rates as low as 2.99% APR up to 72 months on select vehicles. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton believes in the true Mercedes car buying experience. So make the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and see what a true car buying experience is really about. Or of course, you can go online at mbofstockton.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
A lot of texts we want to get to as we hit the 12 o'clock hour. And we will have some fun, some more Thanksgiving-focused fun tomorrow. But I will say, so I'm in a position, Kyle Ledbetter here, Allen Stiles, taking you up to 2 p.m. I'm in a position, Kyle, where I'm actually going to I got the green light from wifey. I'm going to a concert tomorrow. So, nobody normally cooks the day before Thanksgiving. Right. I would say a lot of people do take
You're asking the wrong people here.
Well, I'm telling you. Okay. So for me, I'm actually going to be out and about tomorrow after the show, headed to the Bay for a concert. So, I owe wifey a little bit. So tonight we're doing our takeout night. So we do Chinese tonight since I'll be in the Bay tomorrow. And then I'm just going to stay over there because we're doing Thanksgiving
if
in the Bay.
If my math is incorrect, so you're going to wrap up the show here. You're going to take a train out to the Bay.
That's right.
You're going to go to a concert.
That's right.
You're just going to stay there without wifey, without the kid.
That's right.
And then they're going to have to come on Thursday
and meet at my mom's house.
Okay.
That's right. And I mean, this thing kind of escalated quickly because number one, you know, back in my younger years, we know that the day before Thanksgiving can get a little spicy downtown. It's one of the biggest going out days. You know that, right?
Yeah. It's the, what's the meme of people who stayed in your hometown when the day before Thanksgiving and they got the LeBron meme, like getting ready before a game and getting ready to toss the chalk.
And then I decided, well, I'm too deep now. Let me just throw on a tea time Thursday morning. So I got a shotgun. I know. I might cancel it. I'll see I'll see how much he actually doesn't mind.
How much time do you actually get to spend with your mom during this weekend? I mean, geez.
Oh, it'll be fine. She'll be fine. We're doing the turkey together, so we'll figure that out. You know, we'll tee off around 7 or 8, get back around 12, be perfect.
How long do you think it takes to make a turkey?
Well, I will put it in before I hit the road. Before I tee off, I will the turkey will be in the oven.
So mom will be watching the turkey cook while you are gone.
That's right, but
Quality
we're doing
time.
it together. You know, we're doing it together, and the Kings are going to have to do something together to get back on the right track of things. We have plenty of texts coming in, but you know, I wanted to kind of not get at De'Aaron Fox, but this is more about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because you look at what they did last night. I mean, the two guys that are really the heads of the stake. I know it's Shai, but 28 for Jalen Williams, but 37 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 4 for 7 from 3-point range, 13 of 20 from the field, 7 for 11. Actually, not a great day for Shai from the 3-point line. He's an 89% free throw shooter. So that was a bit surprising. He had 11 assists as well. And I know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his whole swag is I'm the cool dude. And, you know, this is, you know, yeah, that's what's up. And he's got the commercials. But he definitely wanted to make his presence known last night. He was hitting threes. He does a thing where he doesn't necessarily talk. He kind of reminds me of Dwayne Wade a little bit, where he doesn't really talk to the crowd. He'll just stare at the crowd and just say, yeah, I'm that dude. I'm that dude. And there was a lot of that last night. And I'm not saying it was embarrassing, Kyle, but it was very much a book of Meek Mill. There are levels to this. And you yesterday, as we were kind of going back and forth on, hey, the numbers are the numbers, and De'Aaron Fox is right there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I don't know if Shai was listening, if they just happened to have this on the bus as they were driving to the arena, but there was very much a sense of our numbers might be the same, but we are not the same. And that is what I saw from SGA last night. It was rough, man. It was rough. And I get it. I still feel how I feel. I still think that De'Aaron Fox is I don't know if better watch is the term, but it's just more throwback hoops. And I'm just going to get to my spot and do what I need to do. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is more of a new age guy. He took, like I said, 11 free throws last night. That's just what he does. But there was a lot of, I'm just kind of hooping as well. I do feel like he played with more ethics last night than what he typically plays with.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he averages 8 free throws a game. So even this was above his average, and it didn't feel like
it.
No, it didn't feel like unethical shooter, or any of them were like weird like ticky-tack fouls that got him to the free throw line. And part of that was at a certain point, the Kings just started swarming on defense. They had Sabonis drop down. They were willing to give up the corner shooter, which led to spray threes, but it also led to fouls on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They just had no answers for him. And Mark Jones said it on the broadcast, like he might be the MVP. 25.
Well, Mark Jones said he had him as MVP right now, or he has him as MVP right now. The other guy who balled out, Jalen Williams, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Look, I have no clue if his brother is going to be as good as him, but I maybe would have seen. I maybe would have taken a chance.
You
right?
wanted him.
You know, I mean, there were a lot of guys where it made more sense. We have no clue who is going to who is going to look like what. But, just as far as the length is concerned and what the Kings are missing, and I'm double checking here because I think he went too high. Actually, Cody Williams, he went he went number 10, and he hasn't been great. Don't get me wrong, but you see the model. The model right now in the NBA is everybody is some version. If you ask a hooper right now or a young hooper who they want to be or who they model their game after, it's the most random cult following in the world. Everybody wants to be Paul George. Paul George is that model. You're 6'7", 6'8". You can handle the basketball. You can essentially guard every position. You can score the basketball. You can do a little bit of everything. So again, we'll see what Devin Carter brings to the table. And Dalton Connect, he's 6'6", and he's not necessarily the Paul George type, but he's a shooter. Again, everybody is zigging, and Monty McNair and the front office decides to zag. We'll see how that turns out. But, from Cody Williams, obviously his brother, you couldn't have gotten Cody Williams, but from Cody Williams to the Tristan Da Silvas of the world, guys like that who, hey, you got some length on you, you're going to grow into your body. It was a little surprising that you didn't go. The league is getting longer. The league is actually getting bigger, so that's why I was a bit surprised they went in that direction, and why I didn't necessarily have a problem with the Jared McCain thing. If you think that Devin Carter is the best guard, that's cool. But I look at the Cody Williams of the world. We'll see what he is. But Jalen Williams, normally you see a team growing, and you see a team, and it's normally a copycat league, and the Kings did not decide to copy the cat.
But of all the Paul George, modeling your game, call it Paul George wannabes.
Yeah.
Of all of those, I think Jalen Williams is the best of that group. And I think the reason that's the case is that these players, like you're saying, 6'6", 6'7", have the physical abilities to guard 1 through 5 or 2 through 5 at least. With the physical abilities, those players need development, like more than a 7-footer. Like Wemby can come in and block 4 shots a game right away. Like no matter what happens, these players need development. And what Oklahoma City deserves so much credit for is, yes, they got all of these draft picks, but they didn't really trade all of them for a star right away. They took the Jalen Williams, both of them. They took the Diangs. Yeah. They brought in Kenrich Williams. Like, they've brought in players and actually done development. Cason Wallace, Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. These are all Thunder draft picks that they've invested the time and resources to develop. And Jalen Williams, who other than Chet was the highest draft, other than Giddey, I guess. So other than Giddey and Chet was the highest draft pick of this rebuild. He's the one that had the physical gifts, had the physical abilities. They picked him, I think, 12th in the draft. And you're seeing a guy who 11 teams passed up on is looking like the model for 3-and-D players for the next however many 5 years.
Well, the other thing is, too, as far as what the Thunder have done, you look at a guy like Lindy Waters III, who is, they had no space for him, and he's starting for the Warriors right now.
Developmental projects, man. They traded, I can't remember the name of the big, to Boston, and he was getting some run with their G League team, and now I think he's somewhere else. But they've had so many of these guys that have just spent time in Oklahoma City, and you've seen that development. You've seen these players who otherwise would get lost in the shuffle have success, even if it's not with Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City is so deep at this point. I mean, last night we saw AJ Mitchell put up 13 points.
Yeah.
And when Caruso comes back, AJ Mitchell might not even find the floor. So it's like they've got so many of these developmental projects, and that's only going to serve them well. One, as they make this run at the finals, but two, if they end up coming up short, they have those players that they can say, now we can package for a bona fide all-star caliber player.
And then you look at a guy, and I know some people have been, playing with this conversation as well. You got a guy like Neemias Queta, who's averaging 19 minutes per game on the Celtics. You can't go back in time, but this guy's getting 19 minutes per game on the Celtics,
and the Kings couldn't find time for him.
And the Kings somehow couldn't find time for him.
I mean, he wasn't that guy. I think what happened with Queta was like, you go undrafted, you go through the G League, you get the 2-way contract, and at a certain point it just becomes put up or shut up time. Like, because you either have to give them a roster spot or you have to move on.
Yeah.
And the Kings gave up his rights. Boston brought him in, and Boston's one of those teams that has so many top-heavy contracts that they can prioritize those two-way guys on NBA contracts.
The Kings' offense has disappeared over this 4-game losing streak. We have those numbers for you. More of your texts, more of your calls, 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno. Or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. If you look at we were discussing what happened against the Thunder last night. Obviously, the Sacramento Kings, and JaVale McGee said this when he was here on with the Drive Guys, that nobody really fears the Kings in any way. You know, they had that good season a couple seasons ago where they were surprise 3 seed. They lose in the first round. It was a hard fought series. They go to 7 games, and then last season you're in the play-in, don't really live up to expectations. Guys cool off, had some injuries. You come out, you get DeMar DeRozan this season. A lot of people liked it. Some people didn't know how much it would move the needle. I do wonder throughout the NBA, as it looked like the Thunder did have a lot of respect on the Kings' name last night, and you know they didn't want to nap on anybody or sleep on anybody. I do wonder how the Kings are viewed right now in the NBA when you look at all the different teams and the upper echelon of teams. You're a West Coast, you're an East Coast team, and you got to head over to the West and see what's happening there and do your West Coast tour. You know, where do the Kings fall? Are you more obviously LeBron, and you have the Lakers, and you have Steph and the Warriors, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're respected. The Denver Nuggets, they're respected because they got that championship. The Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards. Then you obviously have the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant. Memphis Grizzlies, I think, you know, they're always chippy with Ja Morant. So a Dallas Mavericks with Luka. Kyrie Irving and Luka and everybody like that. So you scroll down, or you look at all these teams, and you do wonder how much, you know, what's the respect being put on the Kings' name right now? And you got to demand respect. You know, and I don't think that they're demanding respect right now.
Sure, I think right now they're 12th in the West, so it's easy to just dismiss them. But last year, Domantas Sabonis was putting up historic numbers. And even if there wasn't like the national respect, I mean, players around the league were respecting what Domantas Sabonis was bringing to the table. And so I don't know how respect is commanded around the league. It's just something that's like one day it happens.
Yeah.
There's not really a tipping point, I feel like. But, I mean, Sabonis and Fox had that respect, hence why Fox was a big reason why DeMar DeRozan was here in the first place. So I felt like last year there was respect, but I don't think there was that fearing them or like, oh, we got to look forward. Because I think the way the Kings are looking at it right now is like, when they play San Antonio or they play Portland, we're looking at it like, oh, that's a winnable game on the schedule.
Right.
Meanwhile, San Antonio's like, oh, finally we have the Kings. That's a break in our schedule.
Exactly. Yes. Well, especially because when you go to the West Coast from the East Coast, you're not playing everybody. So I would say there's a level of, all right, we can't just roll the ball out. And again, this is where the Kings have been, right? The Nets, they're going to get up for the Kings. Okay. The Celtics might not get up for the Kings the same way the Nets do. It's a good win. It could be a good win for a team or a bad loss for a team. And that's where I think the Kings have been for these last couple seasons.
I mean, it was definitely a good win for the Nets to go on the road and beat Sacramento.
That was a great win. And then they did it last night. They beat the Warriors last night, the Nets did.
Yeah, so you can look at both of those and say great wins for the Nets. But now going forward, I mean, there was different expectations coming into the season, obviously, but the Nets are 8-10, the Kings are 8-10.
Yeah, I don't think, right. For example, tomorrow night, the Timberwolves beat the Kings. I don't think they're looking at that as a great win.
Not a great win,
yes.
No, but the other part of that is they've already beaten the Kings twice.
Yeah.
So they've already split the season series. A third one locks up a season series for them, and I think Minnesota's feeling better about themselves because they just need things to feel good about in Minnesota. Not just because they live in Minnesota, but also because they're trying to figure out.
It's getting cold out. Yeah, and the Kings have essentially been the palate cleanser for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves struggle. Hey, get the Kings back on the schedule. We can beat them down again. The Kings offense, they've been beat down over this 4-game losing streak. Monday, they had 15 points in the fourth quarter versus the Hawks, the lowest total of the season up to that point. On Friday, they had 29 points at halftime, the lowest in a half since April 4th of 2014. They then had 44 total points scored in the third quarter, which is terrible. 3 of the lowest quarters of the season. Sunday, they scored 9 points in the final 9.5 minutes versus the Nets. They shoot 18% and 0 of 7 from 3-point range to finish the game. DeRozan, Sabonis, and Fox, 10 points, 3 for 17 in that fourth quarter. Monday versus Oklahoma City, they were outscored 34-22 in the third quarter. That was the third fewest quarter 3 points of the season, and the bench outscored 40-22. Only Monk, Lyles, and Jones scored. And yeah, Trey Lyles now dealing with that calf injury, and that's the worst news you could hear, even though Trey Lyles hasn't been playing that well. He was kind of coming around, and you need bodies at this point in the season. So it's just not good. It's just not good at all. Look, here's a crazy thing. When you talk about trades and getting somebody, as of right now, I have no clue what Kevin Huerter's value is on the market. I have no clue what Trey Lyles' value is on the market. You're trying to make yourself better. You're going to go to one of these teams that might be, and it's funny, yeah, bottom feeding team like the Nets. Oh, wait, they have the same record as the Kings. And they're going to look at that and say, what do we want? Trey Lyles, I believe, is 29 years old. What do I want with the 29-year-old Trey Lyles besides making the money match, right? So a lot of these guys, not to be disrespectful, Trey Lyles, and I would say to a lesser degree Kevin Huerter, because you need shooting, but Kevin Huerter, 26 years old, these young teams, they want to get young. So they're going to say, I know I have to make the money work, but you still coming off them picks.
Yeah, or you're giving up the young players that you currently have, which that depends on the caliber of player you have. Lyles is salary filler at this point because not only is he in year 10 and 29 years old and has calf injuries, he's also a free agent at the end of the season.
Right.
So that's salary filler at this point. But beyond that, you're looking at the Kevin Huerters, the Colby Joneses, the Devin Carters. You know, those are movable pieces. And you can do something with that, but you can't do a ton with it. I mean, John Collins is going to get brought up. Mm-hmm. Kyle Kuzma is going to get brought up. Jeremy Grant's going to get brought up. You know, Matisse Thybulle's going to get brought up. Guys on the tanking teams, which I don't instinctively think is a bad thing because last year the Mavericks made a finals run out of the backups on bad teams. That PJ Washington went from a backup on the Hornets to the third best player on the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. Daniel Gafford was exactly the piece they needed as a big, along with Lively's development. It's like, just because you are taking the perceived bottom feeding teams players that they don't want anymore doesn't mean that there isn't value for what the Kings are doing.
But it's not going to come without some tough decisions. Again, admitting something didn't work. Over the offseason, the Mavs, they go get Grant Williams. Grant Williams, they didn't like the swag of Grant Williams, so they immediately say, we're moving off of this guy.
That's what we're calling it now, is swag.
Well, you got to call it something. So it's admitting, hey, this didn't work. And are we willing to admit this before it's too late?
Okay, so let's bring this back to the Herter conversation real quick, because Herter obviously wasn't going to get traded this offseason because of the shoulder, right? Mm-hmm. People needed to see him come back from the shoulder before they were going to play him. So is that a case of we were ready to move off of him last year and now he's just healthy? Or is it we admit the mistake of we weren't going to trade Herter before, but now we're willing to build a trade package around Herter and picks or Herter and young players? I
think you just had to see. I think they are prepared to move him once they knew he was healthy. I just think it's a matter of the value. You know, it's the value and how much you're willing to give up. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to right now. Let's hear from Keegan Murray when we return on just the mind frame of and the mindset of the team going into Minnesota as they look to break this 4-game losing streak. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days now that Black Friday is here?
We are finishing the year strong by stocking up on new heavy-duty Ram trucks with over 300 available. And with savings up to $17,000 off MSRP, your perfect Ram truck is waiting at Hoblet.
Well, that's some pretty big savings on those hard-to-find heavy duties.
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation. Once you buy from Hoblet, you won't buy anywhere else.
Don't miss the savings at Hoblet. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 2500 tradesmans after 10,500 factory rebates and 6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 Hoblet select inventory coupons, 500 on-the-job upfit incentive with proof of business ownership, and 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance for eligible trade-ins. 5 of this net savings, see dealer for details. Sample VIN 238277.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Carmichael Day with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more super. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Rare Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at HagenOaks.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. all made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's November does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Get Black Friday savings right now at Folsom Lake Kia. Coach Christie here reminding you, if you're in the market for a new car, now through Monday, shop Folsom Lake Kia for massive Black Friday discounts. FolsomLakeKia.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, halfway through the third hour of the show. Then we will hand you over to the Drive guys. Can't wait to hear what they have to say. Like I said, Kyle Draper can be pretty darn optimistic. How's he going to try to spin this one today?
He was pretty sad on the postgame show. I'll say that.
Yeah, I heard. I saw a little bit of it, but yeah, I know going into, I left, and obviously yesterday we went in and then handed it over to the Drive guys, and it was, hey, well, look at where they're at, and look at Dallas and Minnesota, and look at all these teams, and I thought, okay, all right, I hear what you're saying, and then last night happened, and then last night happened, and speaking of last night, this is what Keegan Murray had to say on the struggles and the team making their way out of it. Here it is.
Yeah, we've talked as a team. Like when you go through 4-game losing streak, whatever we're on, like you talk as a team. That's just natural. And I think throughout all of this, we've continued to have each other's backs, which is a good thing. So we're just at the point where we just have to put into action on the court and just finish games. So I think that's where we're at right now.
Keegan, I think you guys had a 1-point lead in that third quarter. OKC goes on a 15-4 run and kind of spiraled from there. What do you think changed for you guys offensively that led to that lull?
We, like you said before, we hit 1-3. I feel like the ball might not have been moving because in the first half we had 17 assists, and I think in the second half we only had 7. So in the first half we're moving the ball really well, and then kind of got away from it. So I think that played a factor, but yeah, I think that's about it.
That was Keegan Murray on where the team is at right now. Obviously, they've had discussions, and they're going to continue to have discussions, or a discussion today, about everything that has gone down and what happened in that second half and the fourth quarter, what's been going on. And, just ball movement. De'Aaron, after the Nets game, said that the pace seems to slow down. These are all issues that they are trying to overcome, but you just got to do it. You eventually got to do it. All right. We are going to get to this blame pie conversation. Kyle, I only have 3 different types of pie slices here, or 3 things that I would add to the slices. I don't have specific players. I just have the players, AKA just play better, be better. I got the players, Monty McNair, and Coach Mike Brown. Those are the 3 entities I have for blame pie. Am I missing anyone?
Can we also include Royale?
I will add Royale. That's where we're at. I'm going to add the I guess the shipping off of Royale.
Yeah,
the curse of Royale.
Since the Kings displaced Royale from Sacramento, they're 0-4.
They are 0-4. They did him dirty. And look, I think Kings fans, you gotta wear some of this too. Okay? You were not feeling Royale. You didn't even give the Kings a chance to explain that Slamson isn't going anywhere. And now Royale is haunting your your beam dreams. That's what's going on now.
I mean, that was never the problem. The problem wasn't getting rid of Slamson. The problem was that Royale looked like if Deadpool was a mascot.
There was two things going on. Nobody knew what Royale's purpose was. It got out. There was a lot of misinformation out there. And it was too, and then you had De'Aaron Fox and what the bleep is that? I'll tell you what, that meme, the what the bleep is that meme from De'Aaron Fox, that's what I've been saying, De'Aaron, after all these games.
I'm surprised no one on Kings Twitter has brought that meme back for some of the weird stuff that's happened over the last 4 games between the 1 for 14 from 3 and the.
No, they're very positive. They don't do. It's mostly positive.
I don't know. Do you follow Drew on Twitter?
You're talking about Kings. I thought you were talking about the actual Kings. Yeah. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it plenty.
I'm talking about Kings Twitter, not the Kings Twitter account.
I've seen it plenty. Somebody said just got off the plane, and I'm looking at the Kings net score, and it was what the bleep is that?
Yeah, so that's a good one.
I've seen it plenty. Okay, Kyle. So we got the players, and obviously 916-339-1140. Be a part of the conversation. Call line, text line, and the Sack Chat. We got the players, Monty McNair, Mike Brown, and we got Royale in this blame pie. Kyle, you got to help me out with the percentages here. It feels right that the Kings players should get about 40%. Does that feel right to you?
I don't know. So the injuries have been a big part of this. And so I don't know exactly how to differentiate the players who are injured versus what the team has looked like.
Versus them underachieving.
Yeah. The last 3 games, obviously everyone's been back, but do we know Domantas Sabonis is fully healthy? I mean, think how hard it is to take that guy off the floor. It must be a pretty significant injury.
Yeah, Malik said it's still lingering, but
Malik's still lingering. Trey Lyles left the game with a cap. De'Aaron Finger. Everyone's been going through some sort of injury. DeRozan with the back, Sabonis with the back. So it's hard to differentiate that. So I defer to you on that because it's hard to differentiate injuries from where the Kings were before everyone left with injury.
Well, it's interesting you say that because if you want to go that route, that would more so fall on Monty McNair because of the lack of roster structure. You're having to play your starters an absurd amount of minutes.
Or does it fall on coaching for not going to the bench more?
Yes. So I still think if you're having a conversation about what a guy is doing or not doing or what a team is doing or not doing, so I'm going to rock with 30%. That feels right to me.
We've got some room to work with. Monty
McNair is up next. What percentage of the pie should Monty McNair get? Man.
Okay, so here's the one thing that I've been stuck on since the offseason.
Yeah.
So last year, going into the year, the perception was the Kings had this deeper bench, right? And then they obviously traded Davion, traded Sasha, traded a second-round pick, got Jaden McDaniels. Well, Duarte, too, was in the DeRozan trade. They got Jaden McDaniels from the Raptors. They then flipped Jaden McDaniels for a second-round pick to not have to take the cap hit. So they've essentially given up 4 bench players, 2 second-round picks, and got nothing in return. So it's hard to look at that and say we don't have a deep bench. Sure, they wanted to get rid of some of those players last year, and I understood why they moved on from Sasha or Duarte and players like that, but there weren't any suitable replacements in their place.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm giving Monty McNair 40%. I'm giving Monty McNair 40%. You can't be in this West and not have enough on the bench and just it's tough because you did re-sign Malik Monk, and you do bring in DeMar DeRozan, but this roster is flawed and it's been flawed. And you said teams are going to have to play to match them, and that has not been an issue so far.
So you want him to sign Jay Crowder, and then it'll be way down.
You sign Jay Crowder, it'll be less than 40, but I do think this roster just was never going to be good enough. It's either the players get 40 and Monty gets 30, or Monty gets 40 and the players get 30.
Which means Mike Brown is, according to you?
Yeah, so Mike Brown is going to get 20% for me. Mike Brown's going to get 20% just because, I do think there is some there's some manipulations with the rotations that I think he's going to get into now, and we can see how all of that goes. And so maybe it feels better just because this is a players' league. I'll give the players 40%. I'll give Monty McNair 30%. I will give Mike Brown 20%, and I will give Royale 10%. Royale and Kings PR 10%.
It feels like they really miss Jordy, don't they? Like, yeah, it would be nice to have Jordy there just as like a calming presence. So maybe coaching at large. I know it's Mike Brown and his team, and Mike Brown's the head coach, obviously. But I guess coaching at large, we could probably lump in there. I don't know. I think it's the injuries thing that's kind of got me stuck a little bit. So I think I'm going to go with about 98% Royale.
This is the whole reason you wanted to have this conversation. This is the whole reason. All right, let's get to the other side as 916 wants to come at the media, and this actually reminds me of something. So thank you, 916, for reminding me. He says they say the media should get some pie. So we're going to break that down when we return and go from there. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to gear up. It's the Black Friday and Gold Saturday open house event at Roseville Power Sports, located at 360 North Sunrise Avenue. We're your home for the best deals on Can-Am side-by-sides, ATVs, and Ski-Doo snowmobiles. Now's the time to save thousands on a brand new Can-Am or Ski-Doo. And check out the all-new Can-Am Maverick R with an incredible 240 horsepower. A Maverick R is built to conquer any terrain, bringing unmatched power and excitement to your off-road adventures. Plus, save 30 to 50% on accessories, helmets, jackets, gear, everything you need to ride in style and safety. This Black Friday and Saturday only. And it's not just about the savings. It's an open house event you won't want to miss. Join us for food, prizes, and more this Black Friday. So head to Roseville Power Sports this Black Friday and Gold Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And let's kick off the holiday season with incredible deals and tons of fun. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. Offers valid on 2024 and prior products while supplies last. Happy holidays from Roseville Power Sports.
It's Black Friday build up at Lowe's. Stack up the savings with deals all month. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to save on string lights, starting at just $2.98 for 100 count. Shop these deals in store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Appliances valid 11/6 to 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. String lights valid 11/21 to 12/4 while supplies last.
It's the week of Thanksgiving, so you're a little busy. Here's something you can check off your list. Holiday shopping at Macy's. Because Black Friday is happening right now. You don't have to wait until Friday to get the season's best savings on the best gifts. You don't even have to wait until the end of this message. Head over to Macy's now and save big. If you go to Macy's.com, you can get your gifts shipped for free when you spend $25 or more. That's one less thing on your to-do list. Exclusions apply. See Macy's.com for details.
If you've been looking to get into a brand new Jeep, don't wait. Head to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, because all month it's Black Friday. And there's a reason people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, because it's the place where a handshake still means something. Off Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course, SackSuperstore.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Black Friday has officially landed at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento. The best deals of the year on power tools are happening now from November 25th through December 2nd. Get low-price Makita Bear tools starting at just $89. Makita batteries starting at only $49, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to grab the hottest power tool deals of the year. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit us in person at 6701 Power Inn Road, or shop online anytime at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno. Or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Got a couple entries for our blame pie. 209 says weak as far as what I had to say. What was it? Players 40%, Monty McNair 30%, Mike Brown and coaching 20%. Then we had some fun with Royale at 10%. 209 says weak. Coach Brown 55%, Monty McNair 35%, and the players 10%. So 209, you're basically saying you think this team is a championship roster. If you're giving Coach Brown 55% and Monty McNair 35% and the players 10%, you're definitely saying that this team should be a top 3 team in the West. Maybe top 4, but you are giving Monty 35%, but you're giving Coach Mike Brown 55%. You're saying that they are vastly underachieving with who they have on the roster right now. So I don't see this team. I don't see a bench that the Kings have and watch them play with Dougie McBuckets having to get time and me sitting here in the year of 2024 arguing about Dougie McBuckets getting time. And, oh, my goodness, why'd they go away from Jordan McLaughlin? I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
So yesterday we had the conversation kind of around this time. Once we found out Malik was playing, we said, what are the Mike Brown rotations going to look like? And we both were in agreement. It's probably going to be Malik. We thought Keon would be off the bench at the time. Keon and Trey Lyles. And last night, it was basically that. It was Malik. It was Kevin Huerter. They started with Trey Lyles. And then when Trey Lyles went out with injury, it was Isaac Jones playing the Trey Lyles minutes.
And maybe this isn't about, maybe it's not about rotations. Maybe 209 is saying it's just Mike Brown getting these dudes ready to play. And that's possible. That's possible too. The 916 says Mike Brown needs majority of the blame. Mike Brown has reached his ceiling with this team. All right. I mean, look, everybody is entitled to their opinion. The 916 is saying it's simple. An NBA team cannot win without making threes. In the last 3 games, the Kings have made 24 threes while giving up 43. It's a shooting problem and nothing else. Well, what do you do about that then, 916? Just hope today's a day that they're going to make shots?
Yeah, what is Mike Brown supposed to do when Royale is haunting your dreams and nightmares?
Right. If 916 is saying it's a shooting problem, and this is a different 916 that said that Mike Brown gets majority of the blame, but that's the whole point. Nobody necessarily knows right now. This is why these exercises are good to do, because nobody really knows what the issue is. And this is what I wanted to get to, and I teased it before the break. The 916 says soft media gets some pie. So I don't think this is the same person, but the 916 had that to say about the soft media. And somebody a couple nights ago after the Nets loss said this to me when I posted a video about some changes being made. This is from Mr. McFunk on Twitter. They say, at what point do you and the press hold, and they tag him, hold at Monty McNair accountable for what he has not done or done with the makeup of this pathetic roster? So I'm reading that tweet and I'm seeing what the 916 is saying, as well as the talking about the soft media gets some pie. And I would just like to ask this question. If you are one of those people that feels like the media has to hold Monty McNair accountable, the media has to hold Mike Brown accountable, can I ask you a question? What does that mean? What does that mean? You know, I know a lot of people these days, they're doing the behind the scenes. And one of these days, I'm going to do a behind the scenes of what the media does. And I'm not a beat writer here. I'm a host, and I do write a little bit for the station, but I'm not on the beat. I'm not at practices. That's Frankie. That's Chris Watkins. That's Brendan Nunez. That's the crew that does that. But when you say this stuff, and it just feels like you're grasping at straws. So it's the media's fault that the Kings can't shoot. It's the media's fault that the bench is thin. That's what we're doing here. It's Whitey Gleason's fault as he sneaks into the studio that Trey Lyles can't stay on the court, that Kevin Huerter has been ice baby. It's our fault. What does holding a coach or GM accountable, do y'all even know what that means? What does that mean? Somebody call in, because a lot of times when you have this to say, it's on the text line, it's not on the phone. So call in and tell me, what does holding a GM accountable mean? Because I'll tell you what, these conversations happen. How do you think we got the clip of Monty McNair saying, oh, well, teams are going to have to match how we play? How do you think we got that clip? We got that clip because we asked the questions. We got that clip because we asked the questions. Hey, coach, why did you draft Devin Carter? Why didn't you go get somebody that adds length? Why did you go get Jalen McDaniels just to then cut him? Why are you doing those things? Well, it's the moves that we made, and we feel like we're in a good position. Y'all know what it is. It's politicking. They're going to say whatever they need to say. They're not going to say, oh, well, honestly, Kevin Huerter didn't give us the value that we were looking for, so that's why Kevin Huerter's still on the team. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. 916, Folsom Mike is saying it means you control the narrative and you don't talk about these things. Like Coach Brown hasn't made any adjustments in 3 years. That's not true.
I love Folsom Mike thinking that we have that much influence.
That's not true. If the media had any control, Malik Monk would have been started. That's number one. Number two, Mike Brown just last night started Keon Ellis over Kevin Huerter. That's why if I have these conversations, it's always with Mike. It's more so about Monty McNair to me than Mike Brown. Mike Brown has tried different things. And again, and somebody wants to put 10% on the players, 10% on the players. You can't get a lead, so Mike Brown can't take you out. It's a chicken or the egg thing. But I get it. People are struggling right now. The team is struggling right now. But I can guarantee you this. If Monty McNair gave a you-know-what about what the media thought, moves would have been made. They do not care. They do not care. They will come on these airwaves, and we'll have great conversations. But they are going to do whatever they need to not say anything. That's not a Monty McNair thing. All of these GMs do the same thing. That's what it is. So this whole media needs to hold them accountable. What are we supposed to wait outside his house and throw rocks at his window?
Well, the thing that I always find amusing about the people who are like, hold a general manager accountable, is that more often than not, their solution is just a short-term fix.
I'm sitting here on a 50,000 watt station every single day saying the roster isn't good enough. Whether Monty McNair is listening or not, I don't know how much more of the narrative you want us to change. You sit there in those press conferences and you ask them questions and they say a bunch of nothing. It is evident to me and it is apparent to me that this roster is not good enough. It wasn't good enough. Anybody that was listening to the Kings, the Knights of the Round Table, what was that, over a month ago, I got slammed by some of the other hosts there and by listeners because I was the negative one. We're sitting here. Can you believe we were having a conversation talking about, oh my goodness, the Kings might be 10 deep, 11 deep, 12 deep. Stop it. We're sitting here digging for quarters in the couch, talking about Dougie McBuckets and getting time there. You don't need to look for the quarters in the couch. You need a new dang job. You got to be able to pay your bills. Talking about, oh, there's going to be an 11-man rotation. We're so deep. We said the same thing last year. And Chris Duarte couldn't stay on the court. Sasha Vezenkov, he left the country and the league. That's how bad of an L that was. Davion Mitchell, a bunch of people, Davion, same draft class, getting the 5th-year extensions. Davion's on a different team. So don't sit here and tell me that the media's got to do this, the media's got to do that. I'm talking about Jason and the Sacramento Bee. We write what we write, we say what we say. They are going to do what they want. Because what it turns into is you have two sides of things. You have, hey, the media has to hold people accountable. Then you have people saying, and I've seen it on the Sac Chat as well, oh, well, you must know better than Money McNair. I never said that. I am watching the game just like everybody else. That's it. And the last couple of games, they have not been good enough. They have not been good enough. Whether that's partly Mike Brown, whether that's partly the players, whether that's partly Monty McNair. This team is not good enough. And it doesn't matter what gets written. That's not going to change how they're literally performing. That's it. That's it. All right. We got some more texts we're going to get to. And Mark, we see you as well. We will get to you. You will kick off the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to, like I said, right now, we're rolling right now. We're going to power through top stories at the top of the hour again. And we are going to continue the Kings conversation. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This Thanksgiving, Paramount Plus serves up a must-see NFL on CBS divisional matchup when Jared Goff and the high-flying Detroit Lions host top draft pick Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. It all kicks off Thursday at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on CBS, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, Just call Gingery.
Kings Black Friday deals are here. Cheer on the Sacramento Kings with slam dunk deals this holiday season. Save up to 25% on Kings tickets. Take 20% off Kings gear in the team store. You can even elevate your game day with 20% off experiences on the Kings home court at Golden One Center. Don't miss out on scoring these deals for all the Kings fans on your list. These incredible deals are only here for a limited time. Check out all the offers for tickets, gear, experiences, and more at kings.com/Black Friday.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Stack up the savings with deals all month. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to save on string lights, starting at just $2.98 for 100 count. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Appliances valid 11/6 to 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. String lights valid 11/21 through 12/4 while supplies last.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Black Friday savings on now on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 half-ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, terminal offers. Ends 12/1/24. Source internet search 11/2/24.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
One more hour with you. And great stuff as always. Just addressing some of the media call-outs on the other side. And we're about to get to Mark and Rick to kick off the 1 o'clock hour. This is from the 916. You asked questions when I said, hey, what are we supposed to do here? 916 says, you ask questions that are supposedly negative or off limits because there is no off limits when the house is burning. It's publishing articles calling out the ineptitude from Vivek all the way to Monty and down to Mike Brown. This organization can't get out of its own way. Well, I will say this. I think that a couple of things. The first thing is, as the old saying goes, you catch more bees with, or what? You catch more, what is it? Bees or flies with honey than vinegar. That's number one, because as the media, you need information. And if you go ahead and especially in a media in a market like this where everybody knows each other. You come in too hot too soon, you're not going to get what you need, right? And you want to find out, hey, well, what's going on with the team or Mike Brown or whatever. You can't just go in there like a bull in a china shop. That's just not how it works. The same way it works in other jobs. You can't walk around just, blasting people less than 20 games into the season and then say, hey, why didn't I get this update on Trey Lyles, or why didn't I get this? So it's just not terribly realistic when we sit there and you hear Mike Brown talk about the challenges that this team is going through. That's because he was asked about the challenges they were going to. He's not just volunteering this information. So there's a way to do things. We get all that. We should understand that. And the whole whether something is off limits or on limits thing, I want an example. You're 18. I can sit here and for 4 hours say that the Kings, it's the 18 game to the season. I've seen enough, right? I can say that. But you go to the team and you say that, they're just going to say what they always say, right? And then you've been put in a situation where you're not going to get any information moving forward. So I understand at the end of the season, if they don't do what they need to do or the trade deadline passes or this thing goes super left, that conversation will be had. But if again, what Allen Stiles wants to say 18 games into the season and what they're going to give you 18 games into the season are two completely different things. We got Mark and Rick. Let's start with Mark, and Rick, you're right after him. What's up, Mark? Are you backing up? You good?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with that caller. It's just, I think, they're maybe thinking of a media center like New York or Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like you said, it's a harsher environment.
Yeah.
It's in your face. Those teams, I mean, I think the Eagles, I mean, it's football, but I mean, they're getting booed and they're like 9-4 or whatever. I mean, it's just a different environment. And I think fans are just, I'm just fed up. I kind of want, and I know you guys are asking, it's not your fault. It's not, any of the media fault in Sacramento. It's just, we have a limited amount of media. And it is kind of a nice town, let's just be honest. It's just, and you guys are trying to get information, like you said. And there's no right or wrong. It's just, I think it's just fans are just, I mean, me personally, I'm just extremely frustrated. I don't think this team is set up to win a championship. It feels like it's like a product that's being provided for Sacramento to keep us happy and something to do. It's almost entertainment, and at this point in my life, I can find other things to entertain myself. I want a championship caliber team in Sacramento, and I don't think that's I don't think it's set up for that, and like I said, to wrap things up, it's not your fault. It's just I think people are looking for that Philadelphia, New York type of like anger.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, no, thanks for the call, Mark. And look, this isn't Allen Stiles sitting here saying, "Hey, poor me, don't attack me, whatever." I'm just asking. I'm just throwing the question back. What do you think that this should look like? Because even so, when you look at the Phillies and look, I know we don't want a situation like Joel Embiid and having to choke out a writer. I know nobody wants that. So it's just more about and that's player versus coach. I think a great example is after Monty McNair drafted Devin Carter. I think most of us were a little bit confused as to them taking another guard, right? So the immediate questions were if it was soft media, then people would just say, "Hey, Monty, tell us about Devin Carter," blah, 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 blah. We got in the conversation, and the conversations were had. Monty, you needed length. Why did you decide to draft Devin Carter? And that's when Monty said, well, they're going to have to play to our speed and what we're doing, and we wanted to take the best player in the draft. Well, please help me. What's the follow-up to that? Because I wanted a forward. I wanted a big, just like a lot of people did. So he says that, and then it's, well, that was stupid. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? What are you supposed to do there? They're professionals. They are professionals at saying absolutely nothing. We know what they're thinking once moves get made. I believe we had Monty McNair on before the trade deadline. Hey, we think we're good with where we're at. Monty McNair, I believe he was on these airwaves when during this offseason. Oh yeah, it feels like this is the team, or I think it might have been an exclusive with Jason Ross. Yeah, we feel like this is who we want to go into training camp with. And at that point in time, you didn't know. So yes, to be fair to you, then I think the conversation is next time he's on these airwaves, if I ever get to interview him, and I'll put that on the show right now, I'll say, do you think it was a mistake not adding to the roster? What went wrong in what you felt like was a good position? I haven't had Monty McNair on the show yet, but I guarantee you I will ask what needs to be asked. And Carmichael Dave, I think, does a great job of that. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, they have a different relationship with Monty McNair. I'm coming in hot. So I understand what people are saying, but there is a balance to everything. You cannot just say, why do you keep making idiotic moves, right? And as media, it's your job to try to be the voice of the fans, but you have to do it in a way that's not going to get you kicked out and not going to ruin relationships that you will need if you want to get information that the fans want. Let's get to Rick. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Rick? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. That's a nice rant you guys have going. It's kind of funny because at the end of last season, I almost felt like I was put on the don't answer his call because I was too negative. But I actually think this goes back to the last season, about the last 20 games. And it's playing right into this season where the Kings are just, exactly what you said. And I don't know how to make it sound nice, but they're just not what I would consider an elite team, and I'm super excited, and they're going to make the playoffs and make a push. They're just not playing very well.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Rick. There was a little bit of rustling there, and now we have Rick. Rick and the caller we just had. Just as far as this team, they're not playing well enough. They're not good enough either. So you combine those two things, and there's a bit of an issue there. When it goes back to, and I see someone on the text line talking about using Alex Lenmore and Orlando Robinson, I'll bring it back to the Malik Monk conversation. I promise you, those pregame pressers, while the Kings were kind of in and out, Malik Monk got brought up a lot. As far as Malik Monk got brought up a lot, Harrison Barnes got brought up a lot. And there is a lot of, again, you're trying to do this dance, right? Whether it's the tango or the waltz, Mike Brown just simply saying, yeah, this is, Malik Monk. And y'all have heard it. Malik Monk, he's our Manu Ginobili. We just think that he's going to bring this off the bench, and that's it. As far as Alex Len is concerned, I think there's probably more of a conversation there. And Orlando Robinson, again, as much as, and it's crazy, I feel like we're in the upside down as now I'm saying we're only 18 games into the season, but I'm not saying that for me. I'm saying that for how aggressive you want to have conversations as the media. 18 games in, if you're gonna take a shot, you are not going to take that shot 18 games into the season.
Well, apparently now we also have to think about Isaac Jones, too, because now Isaac Jones is part of this rotation now if Trey Lyles is going to be gone. So there you go. It's Alex Len, it's Orlando Robinson, it's Isaac Jones, it's maybe Trey Lyles, and we're going to mix it all together and figure out our rotation of 8.
916-339-1140. Uh-oh, this guy will be the voice of reason, as always. What's up, TC? What you got?
What's up, big dog? Alan, what's going on, man?
Man, you know how it is.
Just vibing, man. So I gotta disagree, man. I'm all for, like, you gotta watch out what you say, like, as media. But I'm not with the whole, like, this is sad, we're salt. Like, I'm past all that, man. If we thinking, like, as a fan, bro, we already lost. Period, point blank. You gotta be able to ask difficult questions. That's what we be talking about with the media, Matt Nieg and all them people in San Francisco. Quit asking Kyle about these softball questions. Ask him, Kyle, why aren't you using Mason, bro? You're running. Christian, like, that's another story, bro.
Right. But TC, tell me. No, I hear you. Tell me right now, okay? Next, and again, we got the holidays coming up, but if we had a game tomorrow, Okay, or they do have a game tomorrow. But if the Kings had a game tomorrow at home, coming off of this 4-game losing streak, and I say, TC, give me a question, I will ask that question to Mike Brown. I don't care if it's hardball, whatever. What would you want me to ask?
The question I'll ask is like, Mike, throw Keon in that starting lineup, right? It'd be between either Keon or Monk, but it's the same question.
Right.
Mike, what's up with that, man? Put them in there, bring Kevin off the bench, and let's keep it simple. That's it. As far as the solution, Allen, that's my question. I really called in because I'm all for that asking tough questions, pushing people in the corner like, bro, what's up, man? Let's get it together, y'all. If we run around here walking like on eggshells, lollipop, oh, we're soft, we're super nice and all that, nothing's going to get done. You're going to end up like how San Francisco, how they down there in Santa Clara right now, right?
I hear you, TC. Thank you. We're up against it. But we have asked about Malik Monk.
People did ask him.
We did.
People literally asked him about Keon. I can play a clip of people asking about Keon right now.
And beforehand, last season was filled with Kevin Huerter questions, and Chris Duarte got in there. The Harrison Barnes thing, he was not moving off of Harrison Barnes. He wasn't doing it. And now Harrison Barnes is in San Antonio with the Riverwalk. So, look, I want to keep it going. We see a lot of text coming through, so we want to keep it rolling here. Great stuff, and shout out to y'all, man. All right, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. More Kings talk on the other side.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
So we are playing the game. We are continuing to play the game here. 45 more minutes. What questions? And I actually like this exercise. And TC, he gave us his question. So 916-339-1140. Hashtag no soft media. Hashtag hard media. Okay.
Hey, now.
All right. On the text line, text in your question. The most hardball question you would have for Coach Mike Brown, for Monty McNair, for a player.
And please use the hashtag that Allen just said.
And use the hashtag hard media.
There you go. Yes. That's the hashtag I want people to use.
Hashtag hard media. Okay, let's keep this going. Azalea Hathaway on the Sack Chat says, straight up ask Mike Brown if he thinks his job will be in jeopardy if things don't change. Yeah, I don't think that is – it's hardball for sure. Again, I don't feel like 18 games in, I'd want to waste that.
He just signed a contract extension.
Yeah, I think Azalea, I'm not trying to get out of it. I don't think I'd want to waste that right now. And I'm hoping it gets better, but if it didn't get better 30 games into the season, I think that I would be willing to ask that question.
Yeah, if you're asking that question once a week, I mean, you start to sound like a broken record, but also, and maybe this is the soft media versus hard media thing, like, I don't want to be the one calling for someone's job every week.
No, again, because then let's say they turn things around and now I want an exclusive with Mike Brown, with Coach Mike Brown on the show, and all of a sudden he ain't picking up his calls because weren't you the one that was trying to come for my job.
Well,
18 games into the season.
I wouldn't go to that because that's the trading off access in exchange for like journalism, and that's something that works. I'm not pretending like it doesn't exist, especially I don't know if college football fans know this a lot, but in those Norman, Oklahomas and Tuscaloosa, Alabamas, it's like the media has to trade off a lot of their coverage in exchange for access, and you can't lose that access because the team is the entire job, right? And Sacramento doesn't quite work that way, but it is for all intents and purposes, single professional sports town. Like there's one major professional sports team here, and a lot of the content revolves around the Kings. We've gone 8 consecutive hours on this show this week talking about the Sacramento Kings. We haven't even mentioned the San Francisco 49ers until TC just brought it up on the phone
TC's going to find a way. He's going to find a way.
TC's going to find a way to weave it in. But at the same time, like, I understand that you're trading access for journalism, but also it's just, A, you sound like a broken record, and B, you sound like a jerk when you're the person who's always trying to figure out if someone's job is going, when, by the way, I wouldn't even start to have that conversation until after the trade deadline, right? Because firing a coach or firing a general manager means you're punting on the season. Basketball teams don't turn it around when you do that. That's when it's over. And we can't even start to begin that conversation until March.
The other thing is you're taking it there, right? 18 games into the season. And the other part of that is I'm pretty sure I know what Mike Brown's going to say. Right? It's going to be some version of, well, in this business, it's all about results. And yeah, we got to start winning ball games, or, anybody's job could be on the line. So I definitely am always weary of that. I've been in this game for a long time. I've been coaching for a long time. And I know that it is a result-based business, and you got to win basketball games. And that's what we need to start doing some way, somehow. I felt like I nailed that. I don't really know what else Mike Brown would say, right? So are you asking the question to get an answer, or are you asking it to stir the pot a little bit? And that is a bit frowned upon, because I'm 18 games into the season. Mike Brown, even if it's not 18 games to the season, Mike Brown is going to say, yeah, I've been let go from jobs before. We know contracts don't mean a dang thing in sports. So yeah, sure. I don't see why it wouldn't be on the line. I believe that the execs and Monty McNair and Vivek, they like what I'm doing. They like the direction that we're going. But if we don't have the results, yeah, anything can happen. That's what I feel like I can hear Mike Brown saying right now. All right, we have a bunch of, and nobody's using the hashtag. Come on, use the hashtag. But we have some questions coming in. Why, this is from the 916, why are players that have been traded away for other players not being utilized? Are you in communication with the GM when these players are being brought into the team? Why aren't you playing them? So that's from the 916. That is a question for Monty McNair. Or excuse me, that is a question for Mike Brown about Monty McNair.
And there's been no secret over the last couple of years that there's been some philosophical differences, right?
Yes.
Mike Brown's.
I think that's a great question, by the way, from the 916.
Yeah, we know there's been philosophical differences because Mike Brown has wanted players who play defense, lengthy players who play defense. I know there was disagreement when they brought in Sasha because Sasha was a spot-up shooter with limited defensive capabilities, and Mike Brown didn't really want that person, and Sasha was in and out. We had a joke. He was getting Sasha'd last year where he was in the lineup one game and out the lineup the other game. So there's no issue. There's no question there's been philosophical differences. I mean, even bringing in DeRozan, it reflects an upgrade over Harrison Barnes, but you're sacrificing even more length and defensive ability by making that, which goes against what Mike Brown's philosophy has been since the first day, his introductory press conference here in Sacramento. So there have been philosophical differences over the years.
And well documented.
Well documented. This is not a surprise or anything like that. Mike Brown has said it before, after trade deadlines and everything in between. There's been that difference, but that doesn't mean that there isn't communication there. It's not that because they differ in opinion, Mike Brown's doing something completely different than what the vision for the roster is. It's just different. It's some give and take, right? It's, we're going to bring in this player, but we're also going to sign your guy Juan Toscano-Anderson to a couple 10 days.
Where's he at? Now that could turn the season around right now.
Oh, no, not you two.
No,
not you Warriors fan.
No, I'm just saying. The guy plays hard, all right? From hashtag hard media, what offense do you run outside of DHO? That's from Nick. It's the flow offense and the paint and the sprays. It's something that we've heard, and it's all going on. Don't worry. I'm still working on. Maybe I'll do that during my time off, just to tick off my wife even more. We're still working on that Kings bingo card. Okay, we got the Kings bingo card coming. As
to answer your first question, Juan Toscano Anderson is with the Mexico City Capitanes.
He's been with them. He's been rocking.
He's still there.
All right. Well, Steven is here on the line and wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? What you got for us?
Not much, man. How you guys doing? Can you hear me all right?
We got you loud and clear.
Perfect. I am kind of with TC on this one, man. I really feel like Keon has that energy, and he's got that bag of just tricks with him to where they're like, it's like the Spider-Man meme, man. You got Keon over here in one corner pointing at Malik.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't have necessarily the same explosiveness as Malik, but I feel like he still kind of has that play getter. You know what I'm saying? That playmaker type. So I really feel like I'm really kind of with him. Throw Malik at the 2. Have Keon and Herter come off the bench because Herter has not been hitting at the same clip as he has at the beginning of the season. Heck, he hasn't even been hitting the same clip from like 2 years ago. But at the beginning of the season, he did have some stretches to where, all right, man, you've kind of found your stroke again. You know, you're knocking him down a little bit here and there, but with his capabilities, along with Keon's capabilities of being a playmaker as well, and Kevin being a spot-up shooter, essentially, you have Malik in the starting role with the chemistry that he has had with Fox for so long. I'm going to wrap this up. I really feel like that could be a really good recipe because as far as like the backups, though, as far as backup bigs, you got me. We're going to have to figure something out there. Throw Orlando Robinson at the 4. We're going to have to not at the 4, but at the 5, put Sabonis at the 4. We're going to have to figure something out that 4-5 position. But as far as like trying to fix some bench issues and starting lineup capabilities of getting some shooters out there and maybe some positive energy at the beginning of games, like right now, I think that might be a good recipe. I don't know, man. What do you think, brother?
Thanks for the call, Steven. Yeah, anything. I sound like Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible right now. It's just whether or not Mike Brown is willing to move some things around. I think that they're going to see. I would hope that Keon starts tomorrow just to give it a go. I would want to see about at least 5 games with Keon before we decide that that's not working or want to go to Malik Monk. But yeah, I think that let's see what Kevin Herter can do. And look, get a chip on your shoulder. You still have something to prove coming off of that injury. Got to get to the other side. We have more of your questions, hashtag hard media, to get to. And if you haven't brought in a question yet, you still got time, 30 more minutes before we hand you over to the drive, guys. 916-329-1140, hashtag hard media. What questions should we be asking? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Final
finally an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com. Ready to make this Christmas unforgettable? Shop early and save at Prestigio Jewelers' biggest Black November sale ever. For over 30 years, Prestigio Jewelers has offered in-house financing and fine jewelry. Guaranteed credit approval between $400 and $10,000 with no money down options. Prestigio Jewelers, the perfect jewelry, the perfect price, helping you build perfect credit. With locations in Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, and Fresno, or online at prestigiojewelers.com. Black Friday has officially landed at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento. The best deals of the year on power tools are happening now from November 25th through December 2nd. Get low-price Makita Bear tools starting at just $89, Makita batteries starting at only $49, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to grab the hottest power tool deals of the year. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit us in person at 6701 Power Inn Road or shop online anytime at fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Better tools, better prices.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Joined by Whitey Gleason in about 10 minutes to close out the show. A little bit of crosstalk. The Drive guys will have you as we will take you up to 2 p.m. A lot of questions coming in from fans as far as, hey, y'all got a problem with the media as far as you have to hold the Kings accountable. You need to hold Coach Mike Brown accountable. You need to hold Monty McNair accountable. So we've been having some fun with that, with the hashtag hard media and people bringing up questions. Essentially, I asked, well, what questions do you want me to ask? And there have been some good ones. I guarantee you, there have been some good ones that definitely wouldn't make sense to ask. Some I think are maybe a little bit too early, and some are right on time. There are a bunch coming in right now, but the one I was about to read was, why aren't guys fouling out? Why aren't we sending bodies at everybody? Sacktown versus everybody. Our guys are soft. Coach needs to get them tougher. Well, that doesn't seem like a question for Coach Mike Brown. That's just A shout out from the 209. I hear you, 209. I really do. This is from the 916. Coach Brown, your post-game press conferences continually involve some level of your team not executing your strategies and game plans. Are your players not physically capable of executing your game plan, or is there a breakdown in your messaging as a coaching staff? I think that's a great question. 916. I actually don't know how he would answer that, to be completely honest with you. I think he might even say he doesn't know. He might even say, a couple nights ago, he said, we sat there and did a walkthrough of the first couple plays we wanted to execute when the game started, and we didn't execute either of them. And then they went on, the other team, and defensively didn't execute what we wanted to execute from Jump Street. So he might not even have the answers for you. But I do think that's a really good question from the 916. And I think that is something that, hey, you do. And to be fair, as we continue to play these post-game pressers, the intro from the post-game pressers, as you continue to say, yeah, we're just not executing. Yeah, you're just not executing. Yeah, I do think it gets to a point where it's, hey, coach, well, do you have any idea why you're not executing? Do you have any idea why the message doesn't seem to be getting relayed correctly? Do we know? From the 707, and 707 has been chiming in here, and we're going to get to it. Basically, the high level here from the 707, and they say, this is honestly on Fox. He is not a leader. 8 years of losing. There's a difference between stats and winning. Fox is nowhere close to a max player. SGA showed what a true star looks like. It's time to trade him, just like we did Mitch, to get a player like Weber. At this point, he is not going to stay anyway. So 707 has brought that up a couple times here. And look, the SGA thing, I do think that this was an opportunity for De'Aaron to have a head-to-head to show the basketball world, hey, I went head-to-head with one of your guys the same way he did against Anthony Edwards. Now they lost against Anthony Edwards, but De'Aaron dropped 60. This was another opportunity for that, and it wasn't good enough. The Dortcher chamber got him. Lou Dort had him strapped up. SGA had him strapped up. The refs had him strapped up. That was not what we were hoping to see from De'Aaron, but I'm not really going to put that much on De'Aaron because I feel like he's been carrying as much as he can carry with the guys that have been out. Yeah. So I don't really got smoke for De'Aaron. I think it would have been really nice to see him ball out against SGA last night head-to-head. I think it just, again, I don't know if they were listening to Sacktown Sports 1140 and Allen Stiles on the way to the arena, but, that was a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That was a very motivated Shai. That was, I'm here to show y'all. Y'all think you got one of them ones? Well, we know I'm one of them ones. It was more about Shai to me last night.
Yeah, 39 points a game over the 5-game stretch since Malik went out since DeRozan and Domas went out was always going to be unreasonable for him. However, it's the 14 that's more disorienting, I think, than anything else, right? It's the we had the
1 for 6 from 3, 5 for 15 from the field.
Yeah, 5 for 15 from the field, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 14 points, comparatively to Shai, who has not his best game of the year, but one of his 3 best performances of the season, just dismantling the Kings. So, yeah, I think it's that dichotomy, right? We talked yesterday about Fox versus SGA. They were going to be matched up at times, and they did get a few matchups, less than I thought there would be, but it was
a lot of Keegan.
It was a lot of Keegan. It was Keon, and nobody had the answers for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And that's disappointing given that SGA versus Fox was this matchup that we were talking about, and their offensive numbers are not that dissimilar this season. However, Fox also has a 60-point game, and when we're talking about smaller sample sizes, that 60-point game makes the rest of those stats look a whole lot nicer.
The other part of it, too, is you had Isaiah Hartenstein basically canceling out Domas. And I don't know if a lot of people saw that coming. You have Hartenstein with 19, Domas at 21. They both had 10 rebounds exactly. And Domas had a couple steals, 3 steals. Hartenstein had 4 assists, and DeMontis had 3. So anywhere you were trying to find a W, you couldn't find it last night. You lost the De'Aaron Fox, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander matchup. Okay, well, and I guess you won, and you again kind of canceled out the DeMar DeRozan, Jalen Williams matchup because Jalen Williams had 28 and DeMar DeRozan had 30. So there was nowhere for these guys to kind of make any headway. Then you look at the bench, or you look at the other players. Keegan Murray had 14. They found that somewhere between Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, and you just had Malik's 14 off the bench. So it just wasn't enough ultimately. And Mitchell coming in with Caruso out, dropping 13. That's the one. So anywhere you could have won that matchup, you were just unable to do so.
And then when push came to shove, the difference was they have maybe the MVP of the league, and the Kings have a very good point guard, a former All-NBA point guard, but there is that gap between MVP and where the rest of the pack is.
And maybe, and we can say that there is a gap, but maybe the gap looked worse last night than it actually is.
Yeah.
But head-to-heads do matter.
It definitely looked worse last night because De'Aaron Fox had one of his worst games of the season.
Yeah, and this was this was an opportunity to, hey, we lost some games we weren't supposed to, but we then won a game that we weren't really supposed to, and they didn't. They actually kind of got smacked. So now they lick their wounds. They head to Minnesota. They have that meeting that they are going to have, and they figure out a way to beat a team in Minnesota who seems to only be able to beat the Kings, because Minnesota hasn't been having a great season either, but they've played up to their potential against the Kings so far. Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side. 15 more minutes with you. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Kyle Draper for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. It's that time of year. You know what time of year it is. The Mercedes-Benz Vans year-end sales event is underway. Don't think twice, because it's the perfect opportunity to take your drive to the next level. They're perfect for any business needs. Mercedes-Benz Vans, they offer a wide range of commercial vehicles. Trust me on this. They got Sprinter vans. You could turn it into a worker cargo van, a worker passenger van, or how about just a plain old passenger van? I could do that also. They're fully customizable. And one of the things I love about their Sprinter vans, I'm a big guy, I could fit in them comfortably. So now is the time to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They can help you with all your van needs. Ask about customer cash and even special financing options. And business owners, now is the time to take advantage of those year-end tax breaks. So take the short drive down I-5 or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them your boy Drape sent you.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Stack up the savings with deals all month. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to save on string lights, starting at just $2.98 for 100 count. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Appliances valid 11/6 to 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. String lights valid 11/21 to 12/4 while supplies last.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Big O Tires Black Friday sale has begun. Buy 3, get 1 free on hundreds of select tires, including our exclusive Big O branded tires. Hurry before the Black Friday sale ends. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details. Valid through December 8th.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
I'm Coach Doug Christie, urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia for massive Black Friday discounts on your next new or certified pre-owned Kia. Now through Monday, hurry to Folsom Lake Kia, folsomlakekia.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
15 more minutes with you, Allen Stiles. Sacktown Sports, been quite the show. Whitey Gleason joins us. Whitey.
Yeah, I'm surprised this is the Chili Pepper song you're playing. It should be with the way the Kings been going.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Giving away.
Give it away now.
So I was listening to your show on the way home yesterday, and I'm curious your thoughts. I heard Draper's been fairly optimistic and more so, hey, it's too early, and other teams, we were going through the standings, and teams like the Mavs and the Suns that have either dealt with injuries or just haven't played very well. Teams like that, they're still trying to figure out what they're doing. They're going to have to go on runs as well. Looks like it's going to be a dogfight for that 6th spot again. Where are you? And I guess I listened before the Thunder game. The Thunder, they're a different beast right now. Where are you in terms of, let's do the sports stick panic meter. Are you hitting it, or do you think that, all right, let's get to at least the 20-game mark before we start freaking out?
We had Jerry on last week, Jerry Reynolds. We have him on again today. Kyle asked him last week whether we've seen enough to know. He was talking about, Monty. You think he's seen enough to, or you still need more games? Jerry, who of course has been a GM, he says, I think by now you know.
Okay.
So I understand it, but I'm still a little surprised by how many people watch this team and go, what is going on? Because to me, I watch them and I'm not taking any glee in or anything, but to me, it's pretty clear. Like, you watched that team play last night. They're not really good right now as a team. They've got good players, but as a team, I know they're on a 4-game losing streak. They're not great. They're not very good. To me, they're the very definition of mediocre right now.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They're not good. There's stretches where you go, wow, it's pretty good. There's stretches where you go, man, they look like they've never played basketball. To me, they're almost just the very definition of a mediocre team.
Look, and we've been talking a lot
right now.
Yes, and we've been talking a lot about how Sacramentans and Sacramento Kings fans that have been, as soon as the DeMar DeRozan move gets made, all of a sudden Harrison Barnes is this all-star caliber player, and all the teams involved beside the Spurs got a C as far as a grade with DeMar DeRozan. So as soon as the season starts, DeMar goes on, 7 straight games with 20 points, breaking a franchise record for consecutive 20-point games to start a tenure. All the Kings fans, I thought he was a bad fit. I thought he was this. I thought he was that. Meanwhile, we're looking at that. We're not looking at, we thought the 3-point shooting would come around. We thought other areas of the defense might come around. And it turns out that it's not where are you with the DeMar DeRozan move specifically? And I think we understand now that DeMar DeRozan is going to get buckets on any team he's on. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's working.
Yeah, you touched on one of the things that's most frustrating about all of this to me. And as you said, there's a long ways to go. Things can still turn. But there are a lot of people, especially nationally, who looked at this roster when they got DeRozan and said, it's not a good fit, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people said that.
Yeah.
And that's to the point you just made. That's not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Kings struggle this year, those people are going to go, yeah, well, see, I told you. Get the bad fits.
Right.
Like, no, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
They brought in DeRozan hoping, I think perhaps unrealistically, that he would mask some of the other deficiencies. It's not a matter of fit. It's like, well, wait, you still need more shooting. You still need more size. He's a fine player. He makes you better, but he doesn't address your greatest need. So what did you think was going to happen?
Well, that's a good point, because the idea was our defense isn't any better, but we're going to shoot you out of the gym, very similar to what we did team season.
The calculation.
And now we're looking at two guys. I'm looking at two guys, because that's really all you got. Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. They are not shooting the way they shot a couple years ago. So now it's not a spacing issue, to your point. I do think it looks a little bit different with DeMar DeRozan. It does, the pace slows down, but these dudes are getting open shots. They're just not hitting them.
Yeah, right. And it's just killing them. It's just killing them. The pace thing's interesting too, because, you watch them play and you hear the coaches and you hear the players talk about what? We got to push it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Then you look at the pace numbers and they're actually coming down in terms of where they rank in the NBA, and that's possessions per 48 minutes. But it just dawned on me last night. This is the way the Spurs used to be when Mike Brown was there. If they get a chance to run, the Kings are going to run, and they could do that more, sure. But if they don't get that easy basket, they're going to go into a half-court set.
Yeah.
So they actually are trying to have the best of both worlds. You get an easy basket. Yeah, take it. If you don't, let's get a good shot. And I think sometimes we look at that and go, they're not running enough. Well, they run when they can, but if it's not there, then they do pull it out. So I think they are pushing pace maybe a little more than we give them credit for sometimes. But it doesn't matter. Pushing the pace, half court, the offense just has not been proficient enough.
No, and a lot of times that pushing the pace, that comes from forcing turnovers, right? And putting the other team
stuff,
in bad situations. They don't do that enough because they're too busy grabbing the ball from the bottom of the basket.
Ooh, ow. A couple years ago, they literally, who was I talking to last night? They literally would do, I think it was Henry Turner. There were times 2 years ago when they would be scored on and they would still run on you.
Sure.
Which is like, that's hard to do.
Right.
They did it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but occasionally.
Right. And right now it just, a lot of people want to have the conversation. I mean, this is where we're at right now. How much time, and I spend a lot of time talking to the listeners. I mean, how much time do you really want to spend? And I know it wasn't a good 10 minutes for Kevin Huerter, but guys, how much time you want to spend on a guy that played 10 minutes? I mean, I just think what I've been saying all day is you need to pay your bills and you're looking for quarters in the couch. You just need a new job. You know what I mean? You need a new source of income. And I think we can have the Keon Ellis, Kevin Huerter conversation. And yes, you should be beating teams like the Clippers with no Norman Powell, no Kawhi Leonard, and beating the Nets as well. I get that. But that's the problem with last night. You just got outclassed. You're just not as good as them.
That's a really good team, even though they were shorthanded too, obviously.
They were.
Caruso and Holmgren. Here's what gets me, and I was saying this a lot yesterday, Alan. I don't know if you agree with this. You look at the fact that this team doesn't appear to be very deep, right? And you can get into, well, why aren't they? This has been an ongoing issue, but just put that aside. To me, it's one of two things right now. Either the front office ownership has to go to Mike and go, Mike, these are the guys we got for you. You were on board when we got them. You have to play them. Or if he's right, then the front office ownership has to go, Mike, you're right not to play these guys. We need to get you other players, better players. Doesn't it have to be one of those two things? And it seems like they continue to go with plan C, which is let's hope they get better. But it's not working.
Yeah.
They're not deep at all.
So, okay. So, but again, I'm looking at the bench right now. Who is it that you're talking about as far as, Mike, you need to play these? I mean, are we talking?
You have to play. All I'm saying is you have to play somebody,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but it's Dougie McBuckets. I guess it's Dougie, Alex Len, McLaughlin's not getting time, and
Orlando played a couple games, and then last night he didn't.
Yeah, Kobe played, and no Orlando Robinson.
Right.
So those are the guys, and maybe it's Mike. At least show us that we're wrong.
Yeah.
Show us that
Mike
we're
says,
wrong.
look, in practice and games, you don't understand, blah, blah, blah. Then, okay. Then don't they need somebody else?
Right.
To me, it just seems it has to be one or the other.
Yeah. And if anything, you can say, if you're Mike Brown, let me just do this now to essentially, for lack of a better term, prove a point. And because if you wait now, because now who knows? I know the team is going to have a conversation. I don't know if Mike Brown is going to be a part of that out there in Minnesota. I don't know, if Mike is having conversations with Monty McNair, but I said this after the Nets game. I didn't see him yesterday, but I saw Mr. Vivek on the court in his spot that he always sits in, and he's not happy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think I'm in the minority, Alan. I don't know about you. I tend to side with the coaches in these things. To me, it's like if you don't play well, that's on you. You can't not play well and then say, well, I didn't get to play long enough. You have to play well when you play, which, by the way, going over to the 49ers is what makes the Jordan Mason thing so frustrating.
Right.
Because he plays well and he still doesn't get to play.
Right. He does.
You need him.
Yeah, you need him. And we haven't even really talked 49ers the last 2 days straight. It's just been all beam team as the Kings try to figure things out. And, I kind of started the show, Whitey, just saying, yesterday was a lot of, they got to win tonight. They got to prove it tonight. And we still had a ton of calls, but tonight it's more so either they're going to figure it out at some point or they're not. It is what it is. I got Turkey in a couple days, and everyone, I think a lot of fans are just, hey, we have expectations. We had expectations going into the season. It's up to them to take care of business now.
Is there really anything to figure out, though? I mean, to me, it's not a mystery. When I watch them play, it's like, oh, yeah, you can see what the problems are.
Well, and that's part of the whole thing about this meeting today. Are you going to say to focus more on your 3-point shots? I mean, they're not trying to miss.
Lock in.
Yeah, lock in. Get Debo in there. Get Debo and Tabor Pepper in there. Tell them to lock in. All right, lock in for the next couple hours here for Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Drive Guys coming up next. Thank you for listening to Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports. Kyle Ledbetter, great job as always. Thank you to the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Kyle was actually training some new members behind the glass, so great job, Kyle. He was doing
prospects.
Top prospects.
Hot prospects.
Kyle double dipping, so great job, Kyle. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Yo, Dad is in the house. What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh?